Good evening, aficionados, and how you doing out there on this great Tuesday evening? We have a special guest here tonight, and we're really pumped up and we're excited about it. But as usual, I like to begin with saying,
hey, we forgot to begin our show with our sound bite.
Yeah, I know.
What happened?
Well, that's because our engineer wasn't here to give us the sound bite. Yeah.
Make a sound and somebody will bite.
We'll definitely have our own voice sound. Do you want to hook that up and have Bob get out of the way there?
You didn't even start recording or broadcasting our...
Bob, that's yours.
Uh-oh.
You know, so we got to do this all over again.
What am I dealing with here? Is this amateur hour? What's going on?
This is exactly amateur hour.
I expect a certain level of professionalism here.
Oh, man.
That's what I've been
No,
told.
not here. You're not going to find that here.
That's what I've been told by guests.
You know, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll leave now.
No, please don't. Stay. Please stay. It is your podcast, after all.
Okay, I won't be able to listen in.
All right, we are going stream.
There we go. We're on.
And are we getting our music?
No music.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know. Music is overrated.
Yes, it is. Well, here we are again, aficionados. It's Tuesday night, and we are a full house, as you can see. We're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to welcome back a lost soul that's been away for us for 12 weeks. We have a special guest that we're excited, but I always like to remind everyone to please get a paper and a piece of paper and a pen. We give you a lot of information. We give you dates. We give you information to look up. And we also going to give you our email address. So this way you can write to us and give us any of your questions or stuff that you want us to talk about or any other information that we can use. And give us your review. We always look for the reviews. We like to rate and review. All right, here, Apple Podcast. Go to it. It's the only way that we get better, and we know what you want to hear. But yes, good evening. My name is Ron Pecorini. This is my brother Bob Pecorini. We got Kyle Gesso.
Hey, how you doing?
The long lost soul. He's finally back. Phil McCracken. I like to call him George. Hello, George.
Hello. Thank you for welcoming me back.
Well, it's about time. Absolutely, it's about time.
I thought I was banned. The doors were all locked when I got here. You know.
We would not do that to you, brother.
We're just keeping the riffraff out, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why we brought him in. And our special guest here tonight from Oliva Cigars, Ivan Oliva himself. I call him.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
How are you? Did you find a place okay?
I didn't think the drive up here to Minnesota was going to take that long. You know, living in Wrigleyville, you know, it was quite a hike. Next time, I'm just going to book a flight to get up here.
Oh wow! I didn't realize you're in Wrigleyville.
Yeah,
and did you find the driveway, the alley over here? Okay,
it was no problem at all. I was kind of expecting push the bums out of the way. I was expecting dancing girls.
That's later on. That's another Facebook page that we're on.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I really
this place is a lot easier to
you.
find than the last place, which was a manhole cover in the middle of the street. This is
Yeah,
much better.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Well, teach their own.
Well, but thank you for coming all the way. I didn't realize you lived that far.
Yeah.
So I know that's
absolutely.
a little bit of a task and chore for you.
Anything to promote my company and the cigar industry in general.
Well, that's what we try to do. We try to promote cigars. We try to promote pipes and tobacco. George is our alcoholic friend here that turns us on to alcohol. He shares all the good stuff while we go down, and we like to pair cigars, which is going to be something I'll be asking you about in a little bit. But since you kind of talk about you like to talk about cigars, how did you get involved in the cigar world?
Well, that's a fascinating story. Let me tell you, I used to work on the trading floor at the Chicago Board of Trade, and my best friend's uncle got me a job down there as a runner, and he told me if anybody on the trading floor here gives you a hard time, come meet me at the cigar shop across the street. And so one day, one of the brokers was like calling me an idiot and a moron, and I'm a 17-year-old kid just trying to understand everything that's going on with the yelling and screaming. So the next day, or that day after work, I went over and talked to my uncle about it, and he said, listen, I'm hanging out with the guys. Here's a cigar. Shut up, speak when spoken to, and hang out in the cigar shop. And from that day on, I was hooked. I wish there were podcasts going on back then. We're talking 94. So I could have put a microphone in front of these guys because I sat there and laughed for about an hour and a half straight. Didn't want to go home. And I was hooked right there at that moment. I was hooked in the industry. I enjoyed the camaraderie of coming to a cigar shop. I enjoyed, at that time, I was inhaling a very mild Connecticut Reserve type cigar. And I was doing that wrong. I didn't know that you're supposed to take that smoke into your palate and just enjoy the flavor. But from that moment on, I was hooked. So I've been smoking cigars now for 25 years. And I was lucky enough to get, really involved in this industry about 3 years ago. It's my 3-year anniversary with Oliva Cigars. And it's just been joyous. It's just been really joyous. I used to pay to go to cigar shops and hang out. Now I'm being paid to go in cigar shops and hang out and sell our wares.
That's our goal.
Do you remember what that first cigar was, by the way?
Yeah, that first cigar was an Ashton Magnum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Back then I thought a Magnum was a size, but it's just actually the name that they call. It was a Toro, but it was the name they call that cigar.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Yeah.
So, I mean, you smoking 25 years, at the time 22. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved with Oliva? I mean, that's the only place that you've been with Oliva.
Yeah,
three straight years. Anyone else?
I've worked in cigar when I was living on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. I worked at a cigar shop called the Tobacco Company in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. I worked there just part-time on weekends. I'd moved to the area when my mother and stepfather moved there, and I just had enough of the trading floor, and I just kind of wanted to change the scenery. I didn't know anybody in the area. I knew no one, and I figured, what better way to make friends? And now at this point, like lifelong friends, mm-hmm. I went to a cigar shop. Hung out for a little while. They had fired one of their guys for just being lazy. And I'm like, hey, I'll take that job, and good. Now I have lifelong friends. I went from being a city kid growing up in the city of Chicago to living in kind of rural Pennsylvania, getting into hunting and guns and
big difference. Yeah,
much bigger.
I mean, we know about the hunting and guns in Chicago,
well,
everybody hunts each other.
Yeah,
that's like fishing, I mean, when I grew up, I went a lot of fishing into my fish tank and picked up my dead goldfish, right? I mean, right? That's what we did. We're from New York City, so it's a little bit different.
Well, the first time I went hunting, the first time I shot my first deer, I didn't realize that you have to field dress the deer, which involved hanging it up, gutting it, taking out all its innards. Now, on the south side of Chicago, if they said after you shoot somebody, you have to field dress them, I think that would bring the violent activity far down,
Or it could bring it up. People get into that,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true. It's true. It takes a little while to get used to, but
it had to be a little nostalgia for you driving up here, to Minnesota where we're at here with all the lakes and like rural Pennsylvania.
It is. It's nice. It's I tell you what, the roads are a lot nicer up here than in the city. I tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely. Well, yeah.
It definitely is a lot different.
I drove right by the jerky outlet. The big shout out to the jerky outlet.
Right,
everybody who's in the area, please stop by and take advantage of some of the
100 different jerkies they got there.
It's heaven, or you could just call it heaven, right?
We can call it heaven if you like that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give it to my local engineer here,
mm-hmm.
top line. Folks, we might have a little technical difficulty out there, so we apologize. We're going to work on that right now. So give us a little bit. We'll continue, but I'm getting some text messaging about some feedback and all. So we'll work on that as we go. Kyle, did you see that, what we're talking about on that message? Teresa said they're getting some feedback.
Feedback?
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
All right. So anyway, so Pennsylvania, how long did you end up staying out that way?
I stayed out there for about 9 years.
Yeah.
Stayed out there for about 9 years, and then I just missed home too much. Missed the White Sox, missed the Bears, and I eventually came
Wrigleyville should be Cubs. How did that happen? Let's see.
You know what? Don't even get me started.
Yeah, we have to.
Listen, when they refused to re-sign Greg Maddux in 1991, the guy just won the Cy Young. He just won the Cy Young.
All right, so now you're
How am I
talking.
supposed to support a team? How am I supposed to support a team that just has a Cy Young winner? They don't want to sign him for 5 years. He would have been. I'm getting mad.
Well, look at him.
I'm getting mad.
I think he needs a smoke.
I'm getting mad. He would have been the cheapest pitcher in baseball after 5 years at what, 2.1 million? Like, how many Cy Youngs did he win? 4 Cy Youngs?
One of the greatest pitchers
I don't want
of
to
our
talk about it
generation.
anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore. No, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well,
White
I
Sox,
think,
yes.
Okay.
I mean, Cubs got their World Series. I'm happy for them. Took a long time. You know, it
Yes,
took
it
us a
did.
couple years less, but I was done with that franchise at that point. I figured they didn't want to win. They just wanted to fill seats. So
Wow. So I get.
I like the White Sox. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. You know, that's
Yeah.
rough too. Well, you know, what I liked about the White Sox growing up is that it was the Yankees farm team. So whenever, whenever we wanted somebody good or whatever, we went to the White Sox and stole them from you.
Yeah.
Which was-
and then now we just keep whooping on you guys. So
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Check the records
Really.
last year. All the games you guys played against the Sox.
I still think we had the winning season after it was all said and done. We won the series. That's all it matters. It takes only one to beat you.
Listen, there's
Remember.
Did this turn into a sports podcast?
it might have. Well,
We
let's-
could do that on
let's-
Saturday mornings if you want, from 8 to 11 on my other show.
I'll tell you what. We'll leave it at this. As far as baseball is concerned, the only game that matters is the last game of the season. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
we'll
true.
Leave it, we'll leave it at that.
All right, so
But
Yankees beat the Cubs in the Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way I look at it.
So my favorite Cubs Sox story is I met Billy Williams about a year ago.
Sure.
And I was in line waiting to have an autograph signed. And he said to the people in line, "Are there any Sox fans in here?" Of course, I stuck up my hand. He looks at me, "Whoa, get out of here!" You know.
Yeah.
So I came up to Mr. Williams and I said, "You know, you're one of the reasons why I'm a Sox fan. Exactly what you say. Between Greg Maddux, what they did to Ernie Banks
Yeah.
and Billy Williams, and all those great players they had on the Cubs, I just couldn't take it anymore." But I said, "You know, it's really funny, Billy. I guarantee you, there's more Sox fans in land. They just don't have the balls to tell you they're
Yeah.
Sox fans."
All right, just follow this
Serious.
wire here. Something
We're
happening here.
recording. Your headphones are not working?
What's going on here? It's chaos.
It is. It's something new
There's too many
tonight. We
wires.
don't know.
Just
How's
start
that
pulling
sound,
wires.
Bob? Any better? How's that, buddy?
Okay, you're on.
You're on?
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
So we're lowering from that end.
Yep.
Okay, we're good.
Sometimes something gets knocked out of place.
You know what I say always is just if you're having problems with the computer, just reboot it. That should take care of it.
Yeah, well, we try not to do that because
Then we lose everything.
we we try not to.
That's the extent
Yeah,
of
we-
my computer engineering knowledge. My wife just taught me how to copy and paste 3 months ago. So
Oh.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So social media is not your thing?
I
Join the club.
I fumble through.
You
it.
fumble through like the
Yeah.
Bears did.
My wife showed me how to do that too, but I'm still having problems with that glue stick. You know, with the pasting
Oh
part.
sure, yeah.
And this is why they have me around, because I get Facebook Live working. I fix the audio issues. Yeah, we're rolling right
And
around.
I'm cutting and pasting over here.
And you enjoy that, so that's okay. This is. I know it's one of your passions. Besides, what you really do in life.
Well, yeah, I mean, technology is fun to me. I mean, just how everything grows and how put this together. I mean, like we got this little box, and this little box is broadcasting to millions of people. So I mean,
And around the world.
yeah,
Or at least hundreds.
Oh, we get more than that. Oh no, we are in the thousands.
I'm sure there's more than tens of people listening.
Yeah,
There
tons of
are.
people,
Matter of
yeah.
fact, since you said that, hello Teresa, hello Frank, hello Jeremy, hello Kevin, just a bunch. And yes, Jeremy, you're a Sox fan. They're Sox fans. What can I tell you?
Jeremy, you're a good man.
We love you, Jeremy.
A brother Mason of ours chiming in. Thanks for the support,
I
guys.
think you're outnumbered by the Sox fans over
Yeah,
here.
really.
So,
No, he's a Yankee fan. He's over here playing like he's a Cubs fan.
We're
He's not
Yankee
really.
fans, but oh wait, I do like the Cubs for the National League. I mean, this is way.
What about the Brewers?
I
Why
like
not
the Brewers.
Yeah,
I'm a Brewer
I would be
guy.
a Brewers fan over a Cubs fan.
Well, they're
You
both
gotta be
the same.
careful, man. You're talking about being a Brewers fan here in Chicago. I don't know. It's kind of like being a St. Louis fan. I'm
I know.
saying.
I don't like St. Louis. I
Well,
despise
that's
St.
good. Then
Louis.
probably
We
most
can
Cubs
all
fans.
agree. We can, whether it be Yankees, White Sox, or Cubs, we can all agree. F St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
We can agree on that.
You can actually say that word. It's a podcast.
Okay. Hey, I'm a Christian. Hey, I'm a Christian. All right, keep it clean.
We are
Guys,
all
keep it clean.
Christians.
All right.
We're all children of God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can. So, but he also talked about the Bears. So
Hey,
we
the
have the
Bears.
Giants and the Jets now.
Hey, let's get back into
So,
cigars.
yeah, cigars. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Cigars,
This is what we're here for.
Hey.
Tobacco.
And Frank, yes, he said, we had someone else say something about the Cubs. It's what he said, right?
Thank you for keeping us on the
We
train
have,
on
we
the
have to
track.
stay on track here.
Yeah, keep the train on the
So,
track.
Well, let's go back on track.
Yeah.
What's your territory?
So
How big is your territory?
My territory is one of the smallest territories of any cigar guy in the industry. I cover strictly Illinois.
Why?
It's just the way the company it was set up with the way that the company works. I've got about 75 accounts, probably about of those 75, 65 are in the general Chicagoland area. And then I go downstate probably about once a quarter just to, show the guys downstate some love, take some orders, do some events, that kind of thing.
Is that enough for you?
It's not bad. It's not bad. You know what? I have a beautiful wife and I get to see her every night.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we have a
Nice.
couple of friends out there that has 180 accounts.
Yeah.
One of your,
It's tough.
you'll know the guy too out of the cube in there.
Mhm.
180 accounts. He's in 4 states, is he?
Mm.
4 states, and he's away at night. He doesn't get home every night to his wife, and so I guess you kind of balance it out
It's
a little
tough.
bit. And
I'm 47, so I'd rather,
oh, you're still young.
I'm still young, but like there's a lot of young bucks out there, a lot of young guys, in their late 20s, early 30s, where this is the part of their life. I'm looking closer to retirement. They're looking closer to making more money. It's easier for them to be away from home for 2 weeks,
Mm.
And a lot of them are still single.
Single,
Absolutely,
They don't
yeah.
have
Or
any ties.
or newly married and they want to get away from the house for a little while.
Yeah,
There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys who use that excuse.
Yeah. Before I got this job, and I was just, I used to live in Old Town, which is like North and Wells in the Chicagoland area. And it's funny, I used to hide the fact that I'd go to my local neighborhood cigar shop for my wife. She'd be like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm at the casino with the mortgage money." "No, you're not." "Where are you?" I'm at the brothel with a professional." She's like, "No, you're not. You're at the cigar shop." I'm like, no. I got a ski mask on. I'm going in a bank. So, but it's funny. Hanging out in a cigar shop, it's adult male daycare,
It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
It's like a playground for adults.
Well,
Yeah.
we've said it, and everybody who comes on the air says the same thing. No matter where you go, whatever cigar lounge you go into, you just meet people from around the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it just, you have new friends.
I can say
like you said.
I did quite a bit of traveling with my previous job, and when I was out of town and I was looking for something to do, I'd go to the nearby cigar shop.
Here's
And-
the thing about that. You don't know one person in the shop.
No, not
you
at
don't.
all.
You might not know the area well, but you
Right.
have something automatically in common
Oh, yeah.
with that person. The love
Absolutely.
of cigars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lighten
And-
up that stick.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
and every time that I walked in there, what do you smoke? And the minute
Mhm.
we start talking, and they all light up, and next thing you know, you got a great conversation. Like
Yeah,
you were saying, you're all
absolutely.
laughing for an hour. You
Yeah.
know, that's the way I entertained myself when I went out of town. It was much better than going to strip clubs. you know?
Yeah. A lot cheaper.
Oh, I
Lot
don't know
cheaper.
about that,
Definitely cheaper. Definitely cheaper on the pocket.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you can throw a lot of George Washingtons around, you
Yeah.
know, and you never know who will pick it up and how they pick it up.
Well,
The brown eye is everywhere.
Depending on the stick that you buy too, could cost you.
Well, there's a lot of
$20,
sticks. That's
so-
true. There's
No.
the Monica stick. That's always around.
You know, this joke always comes up.
I don't think there's any highly priced Olivas. I mean, they're always reasonably priced. And
Yeah.
they're a good cigar.
That is true. That is true.
That's one of those where I can go into a cigar shop and I can ask for Oliva, and there's a broad range, and the prices are all right there. You know, it's not horribly expensive.
Yeah, we try to make a cigar for every man.
Right.
We've got a higher end cigar. We were lucky enough. I brought you guys a box. Brought you guys a box of the
Right here, yeah.
of
There you go, folks.
Cigar Aficionado's #1 cigar in 2014.
Get that.
The Oliva V Series V Milano Figurado. We were very lucky that we got #1 cigar of the year, and it really kind of took our company to the next level. It really took our company
So this
to
is
the
the
next level.
biggest thing coming out. This is
Well, that's been out.
Can we-
That's been out for a couple of years, but it's still very popular. What's great about this cigar is a lot of times where you see the #1 cigar of the year in Cigar Aficionado magazine, they're limited series cigars. So get them while you can.
okay.
Get them while you can. But this is a standard production cigar. We're really proud of it.
Can we open it up and show the audience what it looks
Yes, open it up and we'll get one. Why not?
Absolutely.
You know, someday soon, with our new station, we will be smoking outside, and we can actually have a smoking and really give it a review.
Where
You
men
know.
can act as men.
Where
There
men
you
can
go.
act as well. We act like men in here.
Yeah,
but
but we can't
we
smoke.
we
That's the
can't
problem.
smoke.
Yeah.
We're little
It's
weasels
all that
that way.
highly
You know?
flammable stuff behind this wall. You gotta be very
Okay,
careful.
well, let's
Very
think about
careful.
this though, because
All right, let's
this
think.
this has been 3 weeks since we've been in studio, so we've been doing nothing but smoking and drinking on our show for the past 5 episodes.
Yes. We had
Are
a
you
great
complaining?
run.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, but you guys are complaining here. But you got to look at the positives that we just
Well,
came from.
only because
We're only halfway
I'm in
there,
here and he
so-
wants to
Remote
smoke. I
broadcast.
can tell, you know.
I'd love to fire up right about now.
Yeah, well, the window is open.
No. Sean and Chris are checking us out. No,
They're
Gave 'em
watching.
our
Big
word.
Brother is
they are
watching.
watching us. It's their
Wow.
shop, and we're not going to do anything
You know
to,
what? Let
to
me
harm us.
let me just say, delayed gratification is if
Is
we could
even
all
better.
if we could all master that, we'd all live better lives. So
Patience
Well,
is
a virtue.
absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
maybe,
Which not
depending
many
how
have.
late it is and what time you need to go home to your lovely wife, we could maybe have one outside in the parking lot and,
Yeah.
and discuss it, and we could talk about it again next week. And look at the presentation.
We've managed to do that once or twice.
We have on the
And it's
outside.
pretty nice out there today. So.
A little dark, it looks like. A little dark, and open it
that
up.
looks very nice.
Oh, these are beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Is that
Very
gorgeous?
nice.
That
or what?
is fantastic.
Let's look at the
Nice,
inside of
oily,
that
nice,
box.
beautiful oily wrappers on
Absolutely,
these.
yeah.
Nice.
I wish we had smell-o-vision because that it just
Straight from Nicaragua
yeah.
to your Facebook page.
Look
There
at
you go,
that.
folks.
That's a good presentation.
So if you get a
Who is
chance,
that that's
let's
drooling over
push
there? I can't see that name.
That's Frank over
Frank,
there.
don't drool, buddy.
Oh yeah, the smell is.
Oh,
All right,
good.
so everyone's getting to scratch and sniff. Yeah, I'm going to try it myself.
Oh, the box press?
They are
Yeah,
box
box
pressed.
press,
Yes.
figure out.
So that's a gift from
Wow.
myself and Oliva to you, gentlemen.
Thank
Oh,
Smoking
thank
good
you.
health and joy.
Mm, that
Wow.
smells delicious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, really, thank you very
No,
much.
thank you.
Truly,
My
truly
pleasure.
appreciate
You
it.
really-
I know what I'm doing at 9 o'clock when we get done here.
Absolutely, my
Oh,
pleasure.
You guys can
9,
go
10,
whenever you
because
want.
we have to break
Oh,
down.
okay.
You know, we got to make sure we leave it in good
Well, you
shape.
can break
here.
down. I'll be out there. I'll
I
meet
bet you
out
would. You would do that? You would leave me hanging,
there.
brother?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the technical director is going to be left in the studio by himself.
No, we wouldn't do that to you. Here, even say this. That's a nice. Yeah, look at this. If you can
Look at
see that, that's how it's closed, right on cedar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is a
That
nice.
is
They got a
Beautiful.
beautiful foam on the back.
Very
there.
nice
Yeah.
presentation. Yeah, the
Keep,
phone.
keep
I
it
mean,
from
you could stick
crushing.
this right on your monitor or,
Absolutely.
wherever you want.
Guys, you know me. Guys, you know me. You know I run a tight ship. You guys know I run a tight ship,
Wow.
right?
Absolutely. And
No guff. It's a guff-free zone. I expect the same thing out of my company. You know, presentation, quality, packaging, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No.
It's really.
it's a
first-class
beautiful
packaging.
box, you know.
Beautiful.
And my wife just threatened me and says, "You better save me one." Yeah, Teresa, you got it.
No,
And,
no.
hey, Arlington Heights,
Going
Mr.
around
Chris
here.
checking in. How you doing, Chris? Say hello
Hey,
to Jennifer.
Chris, what's up?
We got your man here. Thanks for checking in, buddy. Yeah, so we get a bunch of people saying hello, stopping by. Yes, Teresa, I'm going to get rid of you now. I'll save you one. Enough. So, what is the best thing about working for Oliva?
One of the best things about working for Oliva is knowing that we make a cigar for everybody. You know, whether it comes to someone who's on a budget, you know, who can't afford to buy those $12, $15, $50
agree.
cigars. And then we have something for someone who's can afford our most expensive sticks without, you know, without saying taxes or anything like that would probably be about $15. So
Yeah.
we're making a high quality product and we're not breaking their people's budgets. So I really think we have a cigar for the everyman out there.
Well, I can tell you, Teresa has tried, I think, every single cigar at a Cuban Experience
Mhm.
with Billy and Lewis up there. She absolutely loves your line.
Hey,
She
don't
really
forget
does.
Dorothy. Don't forget the
Oh, yeah.
person
And
in charge, Dorothy.
Yes, Dorothy and Jamie and John. I mean, the whole crew is there.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you out, Dorothy. I didn't mean that.
Billy and Luis are more figureheads. Dorothy is the one running the show.
Oh, yeah.
Dorothy,
I-
yes. Billy and Lewis are the ones that hang out smoking, but behind a successful business is a successful woman.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And by the way, Chris says hi.
oh,
to you.
excellent.
Oh, I passed it on, Chris. I did
Chris
pass
and his
it on.
beautiful wife. Thank you.
So you like working for them. You plan on sticking around.
Absolutely, yeah.
you got
As
a-
long
it
as
looks
they'll
like
have
you
me.
got a winner. Definitely a winner product. No
Yeah.
question about
As
it.
long as they'll help me, I'll be around. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great company. It's a great company to work for. Great brand recognition. Getting bigger every day. We just 2 years ago we just finished the largest box factory in the world in Nicaragua. So we're making our own boxes. We're making boxes for other people. We just started a new rolling room in Esteli, Nicaragua. So we're really manufacturing more, and we're about to double the size of our original rolling room. So great things on the horizon for Oliva Cigars. Nothing but upwards. About 3 years ago, we were bought by a company called J. Cortez. and they decided that they were going to take us from one level to the next level, and invested most of their profits back in making this a better company. And now we're really being, within the cigar industry, really being a force to be reckoned with. So really proud of what they've done. Proud to be a part of this this family.
So now you told us a little bit about going forward.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history first? This way we can people
Absolutely.
understand where Oliva started from and what's happened.
So Gilberto Oliva, our patriarch who passed away 2 years ago, was he was the founder of this company. You know, he was born and raised in Cuba, where he was involved in the cigar industry. After the Cuban Revolution, relocated to Spain, and then found himself in Nicaragua with beautiful dirt, beautiful plants, and said, "This, I think, can be the future of this industry." And now today, Nicaragua, I would argue that Nicaragua is the best tobacco in the industry. I think it exceeds Cuban tobacco.
Well, we've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
You
really
can only
the
farm
talk
that
of what's
land so
happening.
many times. you
Really,
know?
it is.
It's really
Yeah.
gone down.
I think it was when we had Goni on here. He was one that talked about he went to Cuba
Mhm.
and he had brought some of their cigars and he was smoking them. And actually, one of the guys in their factories talked about like, "What are you smoking? It smells delicious." And he told him, you know, like, where he got it and you know who he
Gurkha,
is.
Goni from Gurkha.
Yeah.
You know him?
Oh, I know.
Okay,
Yeah, Goni. He's a
And
great
then,
guy.
yeah.
And then he, you know, the factory worker there basically told him like, "Don't buy any of ours.
Yeah.
Yours is way
Yeah.
better than
Yeah.
what you're gonna find
Well,
down
the
here."
quality control, you know, people forget it's, you know, Cuba has this mystique, you know, this forbidden
Yep.
fruit mystique, and the quality control. This is a communist country. You know, the quality control there is, we don't care what the cigar looks like, we don't care what it tastes like, kick it out. My wife went there 2 years ago with some of her friends on a cruise, and I asked her to bring me back some Cuban cigars, and she brought me back a box of Monte Cristo No. 6 Especials that were fake. She
Oh,
bought
yeah.
fake Cuban
Really?
cigars
Oh,
in
Well,
Cuba.
Goni said that.
Oh,
They actually send out the real good stuff
Yeah.
out, and they actually keep the garbage for the,
Mhm.
in the state because it's Cuban.
Yeah.
They can sell it that way.
Can you imagine buying a fake Cuban cigar in Cuba? Now it is.
I believe it.
I'm sure it was real Cuban tobacco. It just wasn't a Monte Cristo.
Mm.
you
Okay.
know?
Well, there's some rumors that they're using other than Cuban tobacco now in some of the Cuban cigars because they just can't keep
Nicaraguan.
up.
He
Yeah,
was
they're
a
using Nicaraguan
I
tobacco
cannot-
and things like.
I cannot confirm or deny that
That's
rumor.
right,
I
right,
cannot
right, right,
confirm or
Yeah,
deny that
yeah.
rumor. No, I
Yeah.
cannot.
But I can tell you,
Yeah.
I can tell you that two things have happened, and the last really good Cuban cigar I had was back in '98, and that seemed to be like the banner year for Cuban
Yeah,
cigars.
yeah.
And since then, it's steadily gone down.
Mhm.
You know, now and Nicaraguan, Honduran, even Dominican tobacco has improved dramatically.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
the cigars are coming out. To your point, I think quality control is a problem in Cuba. A lot of the Cuban cigars I've smoked were either plugged or they were inconsistent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
yeah. But the consistency and the quality has improved dramatically
Mhm.
outside of Cuba. So
Yeah.
you know, Oliva is a beautiful example because if you look at even the cigar you brought here, that's an incredibly oily wrapper. You'll see that on the very high end Cuban cigars, the ones that are $40, $50, but you
Mhm.
won't see that on their
Yeah.
run of the mill.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
like that anymore.
Yeah. So one of the great things about working for this cigar company is Oliva is the #2 grower of tobacco in all of Nicaragua.
Number two.
Number
Oh,
two,
okay.
Plasencia tobacco is #1. So
Really?
not only are we making our own cigars, but we're selling tobacco to other companies,
Wow.
of which names can't be mentioned
I
for
understand.
obvious reasons. But when you walk
You
into
could just whisper it to us. then.
wait till the show's over.
Off the air, and
I
we'll
can
keep it to
I'll
ourselves.
type it up for you. I'll type it up for you. But I would say when you walk into a cigar shop, I'd say at least 30% of the tobacco that you're seeing on a shelf from other brands other than us is probably our tobacco.
Wow.
So Nicaraguan
Wow.
cigars, yeah.
So since we're on your tobacco and
Yeah.
cigars,
Yeah.
can you break down what you have? I know it's a large variety.
it is a large variety.
But rings and what is the standard and what is the high end stuff? Or
So I would say our core line is, I would say we have a core line and a premium line. So our core line would be the nub. Everybody's familiar with the nub cigar. It's a
Oh,
little
yeah.
4 inches long,
Yeah.
60 ring gauge. We have that in a bunch of different sizes, besides the 4x60. We also have it in different flavors. We actually make a coffee flavor too. We have a macchiato, espresso, and cappuccino for those who like that flavored taste. Also like coffee. We also have it in a Connecticut, a Cameroon, a Maduro, and a Habano.
wow,
All great.
Nice selections.
My favorite is the Habano. I like a fuller cigar. I'm
Mm,
smoking
yeah.
cigars
Okay.
a lot.
Me too.
So
Yep.
yeah. Then we go on to the Series G. which stands for Grand Cameroon. It's a Cameroon cigar.
Yeah.
So this might be a rumor told to me at the factory, but our patriarch Gilberto hated to fly. So he would fly to Cameroon, Africa once every 5 or so years and buy up as much Cameroon tobacco as he could to come back and save it. So by the time it's brought back, it's rolled, it's fermented, and it gets to your shelf, it's 5 years old. So it's
Wow.
already it's a good milder, medium to mild smoke. Great taste though, amazing taste.
Yeah, like Cameroon.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we have the Series O, which is our Habano. Started off as the Ovation. Now it's just shortened to the Series O. That's a Habano wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and filler. It comes in pretty much every size that you can think of. We also make it a Maduro, more full-bodied cigar. If somebody who's got a little bit more, that likes a more aggressive palate, So
Yeah, that would be him for sure, and George likes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
This time of night, yeah, absolutely.
And then another one of our staples in our core line is the Connecticut Reserve. I am biased, guys. I'm biased, but I think our Connecticut Reserve is one of the best Connecticut Reserves on the market. It's just a lot of times you'll smoke a Connecticut cigar, Connecticut wrapper cigar, and it just tastes like air. It's like I'd equivocate it to like smoking a Marlboro Light, or an ultra light.
Wow. Okay.
You're getting that nicotine, but it's just you're not getting that flavor. This is a really creamy, nutty flavor. I really encourage anybody, even if you don't want to spend a ton of dough, walk in your local cigar shop and pick up like a Petit Corona that you can get for $6, just to try the Connecticut Reserve. It's one of the favorite cigars that we make that I smoke. Yeah.
Would you say that's pretty much more of the ladies' brand to start off
No,
with?
absolutely
or-
not.
No.
Absolutely not.
And I'm gonna tell you something on a Sunday morning, sitting outside with a cup of coffee
Mhm.
and with the Connecticut. All those are nice. That's a nice cigar.
Mhm.
But there's to your point. I like the fuller cigars,
Mhm.
but there's certain times of day I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're right on the money with that Connecticut wrapper that you've got. I mean, that is a special cigar.
Yeah.
It's not air.
Mhm.
It's got a really nice, like you said, creamy, nutty flavor to
Yeah.
it. And like I said, coffee in the morning on a Sunday morning, sitting out reading the newspaper. It's an awesome cigar.
So, I'm hearing more and more as we're talking to a lot of different people. Cigars, a lot of people like to drink coffee with their cigars because it, kills the bitterness
That's
and all
me.
of that. And
Yeah, it's a nice compliment. It really is a nice compliment.
I just tried that, I think, last month for really the first time. And it's true. There is a
Who
difference.
says you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
I'm gonna
And I'm an old dog. It's very,
And I'm going
very
to challenge
true.
you here, and I'm not going to try and I do like the combination, but your coffee cigar
Mhm.
with a Pepsi, not a Coke, with the Pepsi, that combination.
That's a new take.
is
I like it.
Man, it's amazing.
I'm
Yeah,
not a Pepsi. No
absolutely.
Coke. No,
I'm telling you, Pepsi with that cigar puts you in a different place. I'm telling
But I don't like soda.
Yeah,
So what can I tell
I'm with
you?
Ron there. I mean, and if I did have a soda, it would be Coke.
Yeah, I'll be a
like-
Coke guy over
I'm a
Pepsi
Coke
Is
guy.
that
I
an East
do,
Coast
but-
thing? Is that Pepsi an East Coast thing?
But there's
Oh, Coke.
Or okay, Coke.
No,
Yeah.
but there's something about the Pepsi, the taste of the Pepsi with that cigar. I'm telling you, the combination. When I tell this to people, they're looking.
When
at me,
you and
just
Mama
like you,
come
I'm
over,
never
we'll
doing
have a
that.
smoke, and I'll buy
Okay.
1 can of Pepsi.
And I'm telling you, pair it with that cigar.
When this podcast is over, I'm going to put you in charge and put you in touch with our marketing department. Okay, we'll see if we can do a little takeoff there, a little spin.
Just don't light my hair on fire.
Yeah.
No, guys.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, I'll take care of
Yeah,
that for you.
I got hair though.
Well, we can lose it. We can lose that head. It's
You know,
easy.
like over
Never
here-
have a bad hair day anymore.
Yeah,
Trust
I mean,
me.
even you look over here. See, we're all the ones with still full heads of hair.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a little different on this side. Looking over there.
But we're classier.
It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue.
There you go.
It's hard
You
to
know, the
argue.
thing is, we can see what's on your mind right now. Let's just say.
What does she look like? Is she a redhead?
So, and then you talked about, what about the V? I love the
So
V.
the Series V is definitely one of our most popular cigars.
Yep.
It's really when you walk into a cigar shop, it's probably going to be one of the best cigars in the humidor at that price point.
Yep.
So it's very full bodied, very strong. I would say that if you walk into a cigar shop, it's definitely easily going to be in the top 10 of the strongest
Yep.
cigars in that
That's a
shop.
Maduro.
No, it's just
No.
it's just the natural Series
Really?
V. Although
Okay.
we do around Thanksgiving we do come out with a Maduro 10 pack of Maduro Series V, and that's a good tasting cigar. But the Series V Double Toro is the #1 selling cigar in the country. It's a 6x60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great.
I think it's a great showcase for Nicaraguan tobacco. Because
Absolutely.
It is absolutely Nicaraguan
it's
tobacco.
a virgin sun-grown Habano wrapper, so it's
Yeah.
a different style, and it just really it's taken off. It's been consistent. It's been ranked in the top 25 for the last 10 years in Cigar Aficionado magazine. We've had great success with it, and it's definitely one of the cigars that we. It's like a flagship cigar for us, you know. And then moving on to the Series V Milanio, named after Gilberto's father. You know, it's an honor to sell this cigar, it being the 2014 Cigar of the Year. So it was picked amongst all the cigars that came out that year, and we were, I hate to say lucky, but we were lucky, but we also had an incredible cigar, you know. And and as I had mentioned earlier, this cigar is a regular production cigar. You can walk in any cigar shop any day of the week and pick it up. It's not one of those. I remember when Eye of the Shark came out 2 years ago as the #1 cigar. I knew people that were calling cigar shops all over the country trying to get it. It was a limited edition cigar, a great cigar, limited edition cigar that came out, but nobody had it. As soon as it came out as #1, everybody reached out to their local and national shops and bought up them all. They purchased all of them. And, you know, for the everyday cigar smoker or the new cigar smoker who happened to read the magazine and want, like, hey, I'd like to try this #1 cigar. Forget it. You weren't getting it for 2 years. So that's another thing, a great thing about working for Oliva is, you know, when we have these high rankings, they're all standard production cigars. You can get them every day, any cigar shop you walk into. Yeah.
Well, that's such a plus.
Yeah.
It really is. And again, you're high ranking. You're getting good publicity. You guys do have a quality cigar. I mean, George definitely knows about them well. It's one of his favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to argue with George?
I will.
He does all the time.
Can I tell you something about George? You know who doesn't like George?
George.
No, you know who doesn't? No, you know who doesn't like George? Al Qaeda. If you don't like George, you're siding with Al Qaeda.
That's right.
Okay, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know.
It's a strong
All right.
endorsement.
Yeah.
That's a strong
I'm not
endorsement.
going to argue with him.
I'm not going to argue that. I'll lie before I say
Hey,
anything.
You're with us.
That's a good
You're with us or against
promotion.
You're with us or you're against us. You're with George or you're against us.
I'm with George.
All right.
George, I'm with you.
All right.
Lead the way. Next question.
Yeah, I tell you what, one of my favorite Oliva is the nubs. I
Oh,
do
yeah.
like the nubs.
Yeah.
You know, I was lucky about probably 8 or so years ago, like the Newman Cigar
Mhm.
Lounge, they do their annual golf outing there,
Sure.
and we actually won a box
Oh,
of
did you?
nubs. Yeah, so it was-
Excellent.
that's good.
Excellent.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
a great smoke. Loved it.
Yeah, thank
so,
you.
So other than Nicaraguan, are you putting other tobaccos in there?
All of our tobacco's
That's,
Nicaraguan.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Hadn't.
Other than stuff that I mentioned that we purchased from other countries, you know, like a Mexican San Andreas wrapper that we use in our Maduro
Right.
Series V, or the Cameroon that we get from there, you know. Other than that, all binders and fillers are all Nicaraguan. We're a Nicaraguan-based company. Yeah.
That's whenever somebody, you know, when you want to know the difference between like a Honduran and a
Mhm.
Nicaraguan and a Dominican, that's the one thing I say is get a Series V, because then you can taste, that's a
Absolutely.
Nicaraguan, then you can compare it against the other tobaccos from other, you know, and
Yeah.
you can see, you know, what a Nicaraguan, and it, I think, you know, the beautiful thing about Nicaraguan, I think it's close to the spiciness of the 98
It's
Cuban,
complex.
you know, it's a complex,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it definitely, you know, it's a nuanced leaf.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's gotten complex, and you know, I might be a little biased, but I feel like Nicaragua has the best tobacco in the world coming out, and we have plenty of it. You know, so cheers to Nicaragua.
Well, and you know, I
Very
think
good.
the one thing that I really appreciate about Oliva and Plasencia too
Mhm.
is the way that you do the growing, because I think, you know, one of the challenges that Cuba's having right now is they're trying to overproduce,
Absolutely.
and by doing it that
Over-farmed.
way, yeah, they're destroying the soil. So to keep the complexity is really a tribute to who Oliva is, because they're really trying hard to create a solid product by making sure that they're careful about how they grow the tobacco.
Well, to give you an example, let's say the entire cigar world is at 100%. Of that 100%, America is 70%. So 30% of the rest of the world are smoking cigars. America is 70%. So those cigars, those Cuban cigars, are going to 30% of the rest of the world. They usually, like China and Switzerland, usually gets the best Cuban cigars,
Mhm.
the highest quality Cuban cigars, the ones that are really inspected well. And then after that, it kind of dwindles down to other countries. But
Now,
those
why
two countries?
Switzerland?
Hmm?
Why? Go ahead.
Why those two countries?
I don't have an answer
Hmm.
for you, but I will find out. I'll
That's
get back to you.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
had a really
yeah.
I had an interesting conversation the other day with you know, some of the other people in the industry, And I noticed this, and they took it by surprise. But it seemed that Asia, there's collectors, particularly in Hong Kong and in Japan, that really value high quality products, and they want to collect those, and then they store them, and they properly store them for a long time with the idea that it's an investment. So it doesn't surprise me that they're sending them to like China, particularly if it's going to like Hong Kong. And then Canada, which is probably, besides Switzerland, is probably one of the largest distributors of Cuban cigars in the world.
Absolutely. At a really high markup. At a
Yes,
very high
absolutely.
markup.
Very.
Yeah.
I can definitely see China in this because, we know what's going on in the pipe and tobacco industry. It's crazy, China. But I just didn't picture Switzerland to be high in demand in Cuban cigars.
I'm
Very interesting.
This is things that I've been told from reliable sources, especially some of our international distributors. It might have something to do with the fact that they might have a greater income there and might appreciate, a higher end cigar.
Tourism to Switzerland too. I mean, the tourism alone would bring, want to bring.
Well,
people.
Geneva is a central capital in Europe, and
Big
people.
banking capital.
Big banking capital. You see a lot of people that, like for example, Swiss watches are highly valued, and I think it's that meticulousness of the Swiss people.
Absolutely.
That, they want quality. So yeah, I think that it makes sense that they would be kind of distributed, and people would look to them as being distributing good product.
Absolutely.
And I think that they probably put the thumb on Cuba and said, "You will supply us with the best," and if not, we can't carry your product.
I could see them demanding something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, Jennifer chimed in and said hello to you too.
Lovely Jennifer.
She is out there. Let's see. I mean, there's a few more things we can talk about, folks, but also here's your paper and pen handy. Again, giving us an email if you like to write to us and give us any suggestions or something that you want us to research, or just give us a little bit of a write-up. It's check in on the Great Lakes Smoke Show at AOL.com. Again, that's the Great Lakes Smoke Show at AOL.com. And you can also pass us on, check us out with Anchor. And this is the part I'd like to turn to Kyle. Kyle, let us all know where else they can hear us or they tell their friends.
So if you are following on our Facebook page, Great Lakes Smoke Show here, check out, we are available on anchor.fm. Search Great Lakes Smoke Show. You'll find a listing of all our past episodes. Going back to Goni, we've had Curve, Alejante, a lot of really good shows in the past there. Also, check us out on Apple Podcast, where you can download our episodes and listen to them. Also, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, because everyone is diligently looking at those reviews and rankings, and so if people are listening to other shows that are similar to ours, will come up in their recommendations. So the more you guys rank and review us on Apple, the better we are, and the better we'll sound for you. We also are available on Google Podcast. Check us out there, subscribe to us, like and review us. Don't think Google has a review yet, but hopefully at some point they will, and then we'll get even more intricacies through our podcast there. You can check us out on Spotify. Do subscribe us to Spotify. If you're on that platform, you can catch our shows there and download and listen to all our past shows that we've had on the air there. Any way that you can listen to your podcast, we're going to be on that format. Just search Great Lakes Smoke Show podcast and you will find us. I do believe we have at least 5 episodes up for download right now, and more coming to you every week. So please do subscribe, rank and review us, and get those notifications so that you never miss one of our shows. We're doing great things here, and we want to keep you along with us.
Thank you, Kyle.
Nicely said.
Wow.
Look at this guy.
He's been practicing.
Are you kidding me over here?
We're getting it together
I
here.
thought I was hanging out with a bunch of Johnny Bananas, but it turns out you guys are real pros over here.
We try. It's
Yes,
just
sir.
we do that on purpose, just to make you feel relaxed.
Yeah.
You got a good face.
Like you got
Yeah.
the head on. We're a bunch of idiots. It's
All
okay.
right, okay.
He's our news guy too.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, we get. He does
He's the
the
only guy in the room who knows how
FDA
to read,
regulations.
so.
Yeah. Speaking of that, how do you think the FDA regulations?
No,
are
no,
going?
too early, too
Oh,
early. Come on. Cousin Frank wants to listen to that. And by the way, folks, we are going to be doing something differently. We're going to start this evening. We do always a 2-hour podcast show, but we decided now we're going to split it up on the hour. We create kind of 2 podcasts in one sitting. So we're going to go till 8 o'clock, and then we're going to pick it up from there. And that's where we're going to the FDA, and Kyle will get
All
into
right.
all of that. George. And then we're going to get Cousin Frank on the line because I
Cousin
know
Frank.
he's pacing. We talk a little bit of what we did last week at Belo's with Arlington Heights Pipe and Scar shop. They put us on a fantastic deal. But we'll get all into that because, it's almost 8 o'clock, which is amazing.
Time
So,
flies by when you're in this office.
Yeah, it's
it
pretty
is.
amazing.
It's just, we could do 3-4 hours. No problem. But
I
we
have full
can't keep the
permission.
people
I have
going.
I have full permission to stay out as long as I want to.
Oh,
The
tonight.
little lady
okay.
is she checking in? Is she
I think she figured out how to do the Find My iPhone, so she can pretty much see
Uh-oh.
wherever I'm going. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
GPSing you, huh?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah. So
Well, that's not a good thing,
Okay.
You can
Turn
leave
your
a phone
phone
on
off.
the outside,
phone
go into
off.
a building, and
if anybody out there has any suggestions how to deactivate it, or maybe I could just put it on a train car going north.
well, this is the last stop.
Okay.
I'm just telling you,
Yeah,
Fox
good.
Lake's the last stop. You can join a lot of the other homeless.
Okay. Now you know how they get them out of Chicago. They just put them on the metro
I
and
think
send them up to Fox
they
Lake.
do. They really do. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, there's a new character walking the streets up here all the time.
Every
But,
day. Every day.
wow. What can I tell you? Well, a little something here from Jennifer. Let's see what she says. Hope you're all doing great. Love the show. Where's the food? Well, we're waiting for you to bring the food, Jennifer. What can I tell you? But we will be talking about Belo's food in the second half. So hang on, and we'll promote you, Chris, the shop, and everything of all the great stuff that you've done. So if you want to send me some more info, I can read it shortly.
What kind
On
of
the
info?
second part.
Greens in an envelope? What is that envelope?
No. Arlington has a lot of stuff that's going on, and
I'd settle for beef jerky.
Yeah.
well, you're right here. 100 different flavors right around
Can
the
you
corner.
guys believe that? Beef jerky outlet right here. What road is that on?
Grand Avenue,
Shout out to
12.
Outlet Beef Jerky. Yeah, let's
Yep.
see if maybe a sponsor. Maybe
Grand
a
and
potential-
12.
Potential sponsor. Anybody who happens to be in the Chicagoland area up in Fox Lake, go check them out. 100 different types of beef jerky. God bless them. That's America.
Well, I like
That is
because
America.
We are looking for sponsors.
Okay.
You know?
yeah.
So we might have to talk to you after the show, talk to you guys and become one of our regular
Yeah,
sponsors.
we can look into that. Hey,
You know?
guys, I already brought the swag and cigars.
Yeah, there you go.
What else do you want from me?
Oh, no.
Beer.
What did
You
Goni
want
bring?
beer?
What did Goni bring?
Oh, he brought a lot.
He
He
brought
brought
a
a
lot
lot.
of
Oh, damn it, I shouldn't have said that.
I hate to say he brought a lot, but that's all right.
Shirts.
So is Brian
cigar.
McGuire. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys must all talk. Perdomo did the same thing.
Brian with Perdomo?
Brian
Yeah,
with
Yeah,
Perdomo.
Brian, good guy.
He's
good guy.
fantastic
We have
guy.
a great fraternity of sales reps in this
You do.
in this area, and I'll tell you one thing: if one of my competition called me and said, "Hey, I'm having an issue here, an issue there," all of us would be happy to step in and help that person. A great fraternity, a great brotherhood, and in some cases sisterhood within the cigar industry here in the Chicagoland area and the tri-state area and the Midwest in general. What fascinates me is you think it'd be a cut, you think in sales it'd be cutthroat, but I'm not looking to cut somebody else out. I'm just looking to
Nope.
promote my own product.
And I think you all feel the same way.
Yeah.
Even Kevin from Christoph.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going to be doing an
No.
event with Kevin.
Speaking of Kevin, now
Yeah, he's listening. Kevin,
everything-
here we go.
everything I just said pertains to everyone in the industry except for Kevin.
Except
for Kevin.
So I see you're good friends with him.
Kevin's a great guy. I love him, and I love to give him a hard time.
Well, we'll see what kind of hard time he gives you
Yeah,
when we're
absolutely.
with him live.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to be at Papa's on
Okay.
the 25th doing an event for Christoph.
Okay. I'll be watching and listening.
All right,
Yeah.
that's
Very
good.
Yeah.
I'll,
Best behavior,
I'll be
Kevin.
saluting you from my phone on my boats on the lake that
Nice.
weekend. So,
Here we are.
On your boat.
On
You
your
bought a
boat.
well, it's my brother's boat, but
Oh, okay.
I
Oh, so
use it
it's in the
more,
family.
yeah.
There you
Good.
go.
Family.
I mean, you
There's
can come and join
better,
us.
nothing better than a borrowed boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owning one is
You don't want to
Yeah,
own
yeah,
one.
I
You
don't. I
wanna-
don't have to pay for the maintenance, the
Black hole,
storage
just throw
fees.
money into it, you know?
Just the gas. Just the gas.
There's two happy times in a boat owner's life: the day he buys it and the day
That
he
he
sells
sells
it.
Yep.
Very true. Very true. I tell you that. Hey, brother Chris Becker. Yes, your Mason brothers are all here.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know if Ivan's one, but we'll talk him into being one.
Hey, listen, what did Groucho Marx say? I'd never join a club that would have me as a member.
That's right.
There you go.
Well, what's really fascinating. I don't, they keep, we were talking about going out of town and just showing up at a cigar store. I'm telling you, it amazes me how many Masons smoke cigars.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a very
It is
central
noticeable.
part of- yeah,
It is noticeable.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
I think so. Well, camaraderie, just in general.
Yeah,
Just,
it's the brotherhood, like you
it's
talked
the
about.
brotherhood.
it
And I
really
think
is.
that's what's so attractive. You hit a second point that I've noticed about the industry. Every rep, every cigar owner, manufacturer, whatever I've talked to, said exactly the same thing you do. We're here to help our brothers. So
Mhm.
if Oliva's having a problem,
Hey.
we'll take care of them.
Yeah.
If Placencia's having a problem, any of them, we'll take care of one another. We'll make sure it gets done.
I remember working in a cigar shop in Pennsylvania, and if you guys are familiar with Jose Blanco, he's the president of sales with EPC, Ernesto Carrillo's company. And at the time, he was with La Aurora, and I was just hanging out and smoking a Opus X, happened to be smoking an Opus X that day, and he walked in, and I said, "Oh my God, I wish I knew you were coming. If I knew you were coming, I would have been smoking a La Aurora." And he said to me something simple, but something that stuck with me for a long time: as long as you're smoking. That's all that I care
Yeah.
about. As long as you don't have to be smoking my cigar. As long as you're smoking, that's all that matters. A rising tide raises all ships. So
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah. So shout out to Jose Blanco, gentleman of the cigar industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
very
bad
nice.
at all.
Yeah.
Again, there's so much going on in the cigar industry, and we will get into really the second half of questions coming up. So since it's going to be our kind of first time for a break, Kyle, what do you think? How do we do this? Do we shut down? You take a break on Facebook?
We'll keep Facebook going.
All right.
We'll
So
just,
Facebook people, you can stay. You can watch what happens off the air.
I don't know if
And
they really want to, but
it'll be a good time to go to the bathroom, get
Yeah,
a drink,
yeah.
light up
Okay.
your favorite cigar.
Empty out the ashtray.
there you go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sure. Boss man, he didn't say that.
Get
Don't worry
something
about that.
to eat,
Get
you know.
those Olivas out, light them up, smoke. We're having an Oliva.
Oh no,
celebration
I'm
today.
not smoking for 5 minutes and putting it out. When that gets
No,
lit,
no.
that's
I'm
staying
talking to
on.
all our viewers and
Oh, the little-
listeners.
Oh,
out
for you
there.
guys, yes. Go grab some something to drink for sure. And let's see what happens. We'll take a break. We'll end it the right way. So, folks, what can I say? We're going to try something different. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back with another episode and podcast of the Great Lakes Smoke Show. Thanks for checking in on the first half, and we'll have we'll have Ivan here on part 2 with
Absolutely.
a whole bunch of more questions, and we're going to give you guys a break to 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
I
That's all
even
we're going to give
teased
you.
it. I even teased it. What was going to be happening in the second half?
Well, yes, you did give a little
Yeah, I
tease.
gave it out.
And
That's
cousin-
when we go to the bathroom.
And one of our listeners, Ivan, one of our brothers, Chris Becker, says that Oliva are my favorites, and just had to listen since he knew you were coming
Well,
on.
thank you, Chris. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Thank you.
And folks, we'll take a little break, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes for the next podcast episode. Great Lakes Smoke Show. See you soon. Okay, so
Okay.
since you had a long ride, you need a restroom?
I'm fine.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a
Good.
professional.
I hear ya.
I'm a
You carry
professional,
carry plastic
You
in the
kidding? You know how
car
many
with
piss-filled
you?
Gatorade bottles I have in my car? My wife refuses to get into it. Are you kidding me? I'm a professional. I even keep dude wipes in my car. You never know.
Dude
when-
wipes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you never know when you're gonna have to pull over by the side of the road. You know.
Cheers,
Oh,
guys.
cheers, brothers.
I'm empty. I'm empty.
Oh, Phil.
Hold on.
He needs-
Can't
he needs
cheer
a
without it with
refill.
an
Oh, yeah,
empty
need a
thing.
Please.
Needs a
Please.
refill.
And for our Facebook crew, this is Highland Park 12. It's called the Viking Honor. It's,
And it is
sketch.
delicious.
Well, I
by
feel
the
like a
way.
Viking drinking it.
Yeah. Raise
I
a
just,
horn.
Yeah.
this to me is, and it's got a really nice peatiness to it. I really would love to have an Oliva right now.
Yeah. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thank you
guys.
so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
George, we missed you.
Yeah.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back to
Thanks,
home.
George.
I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
back.
You don't need to speak. There's no one listening.
I told, what are you talking about? They're all
Hey,
there.
here and there.
Yeah.
They're all on there.
You forgot.
Salud.
They're on. Yeah, I'm watching us here.
These people on here are waiting for Ashley to show up again. You know.
Ashley. Yeah, Jennifer will let her know about that. All right. Anybody got to go to the bathroom? Anything? You good?
I'm good.
We're all good.
All right. So we'll start it off
Resume?
as if it's the new
Okay.
show again.
You
Bob,
got it,
you
Bob?
good?
Yep.
Get the headphones on, and you tell me when we're ready.
And we're on.
Good evening, aficionados, and welcome back.
Part 2.
Oh, and the crowd is roaring.
Listen
I know they're so excited to be back.
Hold on. It's not coming up.
No,
You stopped it.
You're hitting stop. You got to hit
Right there. There you
There we
go. Welcome back, aficionados.
Listen to that crowd.
The crowd behind this one wall. They want autographs. They want cigars. They
Brings a-
want Oliva.
Brings a tear to my eye.
Welcome to
listening
part
that
2,
crowd.
guys. Part 2.
Part 2 of. Yeah, that's somebody
I don't quite know
truly
what that
excited.
was.
That was
Yahoo!
Ashley.
We're happy we're back.
Ashley.
We
All
made
right,
it back.
Ashley.
Ashley,
We saw that
Ashley.
Oliva stick.
For all those who don't know about Ashley,
A lot of stuff going on in the back room.
Yeah. For those who don't know Ashley, go back and re-listen to our last podcast download, and you'll
download
see
the
it.
Belos.
Belos. It was a great,
It was
great
a
episode.
wonderful night with Arlington Heights Pipe and Cigar Shop with Chris and Jennifer. They do the Belos steak special. We had about 100 people there. It was a fantastic dinner, 3 premium cigars, and we were fortunate enough to have Ashley as our waitress, who took care of us really well.
And that food was amazing.
Yeah, Belos,
Wonderful
fantastic.
And
food.
you did not
Fantastic.
go away hungry, that's for sure.
Gourmet dining, really.
And how about that dessert, guys? How about that dessert?
Well, Frank couldn't have the dessert, so we had it, and it was awesome.
Oh, we don't talk about Frank and his non-dessert heaven.
Well,
He's
you
got that allergy.
It stinks.
Is
Bottom
there anything
line.
wrong with a guy living a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah.
I don't think there's.
No, he's just allergic to it,
Yeah.
but he does live the healthy style too. but-
Peanuts and stuff like that. So
It's still a big shout out to Arlington Heights, and just to plug them a little bit. This Saturday, no, then I checked out the wrong
What's
day.
going on
Hold
this
on.
Saturday?
Hold on. No, I'm
Do
sorry.
tell.
We did
Yeah.
that already.
Oh, actually, this Saturday night at the Chicago Pipe Club, it's our monthly meet. So hopefully you can come. And if you're not a member, please come and
Oh,
join.
Let me tell you something. These guys suckered me into that. And that's-
Wait, suckered?
Yeah, I know.
We
Well,
suckered you?
I got to be honest with you. I mean, I was hoodwinked. I mean, you pulled me into this, and I got to
And
be
you
honest
love
with
it.
you. I'm going to say the only thing that drives me crazy is now I've got about 27 pipes because I guess one's not enough according to
No.
the Chicago.
Quick question
This
for you guys.
this guy surpassed me, and he's been doing it less time than I have.
Yes.
Quick question: when you guys have these pipe and tobacco meetings, are handlebar mustaches a requirement before getting in, or is that strictly voluntary?
Well,
facial hair. to
Facial
some
hair,
extent,
minimum
has to
facial
so
be-
you're in.
Yeah.
But
You're
you're
in.
also required to ride an old timey bicycle, the one with the big wheel and the small
Yes,
wheel, to
yes.
the
A
shop.
unicycle. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not trying to stereotype pipe smokers or anything. I'm just asking questions.
No,
Just
no,
trying to
no.
get educated.
But we're intelligent. You know,
Yeah.
we look so
Absolutely.
smart
Well,
with that pipe.
We smoke a
Absolutely.
pipe, therefore your argument is invalid.
Yeah.
I have to say, since I crossed over to pipe smoking, I've had an awful lot of comments. You're smoking a pipe? Like that's some kind of objectionable thing for cigar smokers to do. I'm just
No,
Well,
absolutely.
most
They go-
cigar
Yeah, it
smokers
goes-
are pipe smokers.
Yeah.
are pipe
Yeah.
smokers
I
are
don't know
cigar
about
smokers.
that. I don't know.
The two industries go hand in
They
hand.
do go hand in hand.
They do go hand in hand.
Yes.
You smoke a pipe,
I
usually
agree.
light up a
And-
stove
and
agree.
too.
You
I
become a
agree.
monster.
Yeah.
You know, you really have. You've gone crazy.
Yeah, I love my cigars just as much as I love my pipe tobacco, and I love them equally. As I would say, my children, I love them equally. There's not one favorite.
Well, it's hard to decide.
But we know
what
there
you're
really
gonna have.
is one.
Well, the old adage saying that cigar smoking is a habit and smoking a pipe is more of a hobby because there's so much more things to do while you're smoking a pipe. But my wife and I were in Ireland back in September, and we were in Dublin. I got a chance to go to the world famous Peterson's Pipe Shop.
Oh,
really?
wow.
Which was
Oh.
really cool. It was a really cool experience. And yes, they do sell cigars, and they were selling Oliva Series V there. So
Hey,
that was
there you go.
That was a really nice surprise. That was a nice surprise. But I couldn't go there. I couldn't go there and not buy a pipe.
So
Yeah,
you
this-
bought a
I
Peterson.
bought
Bought
a,
a
bought a
Peterson,
beautiful
very
Peterson
nice.
pipe and some
And do you
tobacco to
smoke
go with
it?
it. On occasion, obviously with this, we've had such horrible weather here in the Chicagoland area. I have to do it outside. Although my wife said she doesn't mind the
If you
smoke.
have a good smell tobacco,
Yeah.
you
Most
can
women
smoke
like the smell
inside.
of a pipe.
What model Peterson did you get?
Yes, I did get a bottle of Peterson. Yes. Yes,
Did you
I
get
did.
a Christmas Peterson? Did you get a St. Patty's Day?
Yes, I did get a Peterson pipe. Yes.
Ah, okay,
I
all
did
right.
get it. Come on, what do you want from me? I don't know. I spent 100 what was it, euro? Yeah, I spent 100
Okay.
euro on a pipe and some tobacco. Leave me alone, guys. Let's get back
Oh,
to
yeah.
let's get back to
That's all right.
cigars.
All
right.
right,
We've been
all right.
hijacked.
Back to cigars.
Been hijacked.
Well, listen, if you like to smoke pipes with a great crowd, every Wednesday night, here you go, folks. Wednesday nights at A Cuban Experience, we have our own little cigar pipe gathering at 7:00 at in Waukegan.
For those that are in the Chicagoland area,
True. And
There's
we
usually
also have
about
live
20
music.
people that
we
show up.
we
have
always have to make
jazz
sure
and
we
blues.
tell them that we're in the Chicagoland area because we are worldwide and everyone.
Yeah.
This.
Unless they can hop in their own private jet and come meet us, I mean that would be awesome.
Those are the guys from Switzerland and
Those are
China.
the Swiss.
Handlebar mustaches are not mandatory. I just like to state not mandatory.
But I will tell you, Ivan, they tried to hook me the same way that you did. Which Peterson did you buy? And then
Yeah.
they want me to give like the full dissertation
Yeah.
on where'd you buy it, how much you pay for it, and then it's like, oh, you didn't get the Christmas pipe, you didn't get the St. Patrick's Day pipe. What about Savinelli? You gonna get a Savinelli?
Forgive my response, but it's the same thing when people ask me how long I've been married to my wife. It's yes, we are married. Yes, well, how long
Now
has it
she
been?
listened. I'm going to get it written over here.
Oh,
saying,
but here's
SOB.
here's the other thing when you talk about buying a pipe, then you get it from these two over here because then they're like, well, how much did you pay for it? And then like, you paid too much. I could have got it to you half price. I know a guy.
We know a lot of guys who know guys.
After the show, they were pulling all kinds. Look what I bought for $25.
Yeah.
What does it normally sell for? Oh, $400.
Yeah.
200.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
They're like, yeah, we know a guy. We know guys who knows a guy. We can
They
get
owe
you.
me. They owe me. Yeah, I know.
I know a guy in Turkey who has.
And it's simple to get. It just go to the back of that truck. No problem.
Yeah,
I think it said New York, and
off the asphalt price there.
What falls off the truck stays with us. That's just the bottom line. By the way, Bob, Anne-Marie Cook from New Jersey wants to know, are you starting a new trend wearing your headphones like that?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. This way
Yes,
I-
and
I
that's
can
what he's
hear what's
doing.
going on in the room, and this is tuning into the show itself. Yeah. Well, it's if I do this, then I can't even hear myself talk. So this is better, man. I'm into this.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
They do that.
The kids are doing it
It's
these days.
it's a very professional thing.
He looks like a DJ at a nightclub. He's spinning the records, ready to go.
That's
You
what
know.
it is, man.
Well,
Moby.
Dr.
Moby.
Demento.
Would it be too much to call him a Renaissance man?
You can call him the
A Renaissance
since
man.
he
Renaissance
since
man.
he's
See?
the oldest
Very good.
bastard here. Yes, why not?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
The hammer always comes down, doesn't it?
Hey, I've been
So-
catching it long enough.
So back to the cigar talk with
yes.
Oliva. Hi everybody.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
also, we were on Arlington Heights. Here's something to write down. They are having an event Thursday, May 16th at 6 p.m. at Roots Chris Steakhouse. You can check it out. Go on Arlington Pipe and Cigar Facebook for all the information. They've always got something going on. Like once a week, they got something going on. If you
Yeah.
like events and cigars, Chris and Jennifer, they push real hard in the community, and they're always trying to bring everybody together, even outside of the shop. So
Chris is one of the gentlemen of the cigar industry. One of the gentlemen.
yes,
Really is.
fabulous.
That's a
I mean,
good way
both
to
of them.
put it.
Absolutely.
Both of them are-
Absolutely.
I mean, the invite that we had last week at Below Steakhouse and the way they treated us, you can just see the people, the way they just, it's like a magnet. They even go to them.
They
People
went
just
above
love
and
them.
beyond any of my expectations that they had to do for us. I mean, they could have put us in a little booth in the corner and kept us, but no.
No, they gave it the dais right in the middle of
Right
the
in the middle
floor.
of the
Right.
room,
Yeah.
right next to the bar.
Mhm.
Perfect place for
Yeah,
us.
absolutely.
I mean, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, customer service these days, where has it gone? It's nice to see that it's
Long
still
gone,
alive. It's
long
nice to see
gone.
that it's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah, they treated us like royalty. Really,
Yeah.
it was
It
great.
was real good, real great experience. It really was.
I'm happy for you guys. Well, it doesn't surprise me with Chris running a show like that. So
Yeah, exactly.
And a new place. Have you been? Have you seen a new
yes,
expansion?
yes.
Fantastic space. They really did it really well. It's even more homey and comfortable, and just it's a place you just want to hang and sit.
Yeah, and Jen
And-
was talking that they're going to do a ladies' night. Where,
Thursday nights are going to be ladies' night
where
once a
us
month,
men
I
can
believe.
go into the back and it'd be our hermit selves if we wanted to.
If you wanted to join,
Ladies' night. Hold on. What
Wait a
day of the
minute.
week is that going to be?
Thursday nights. Why would we
Thursday
go in the back?
No, no.
and be a hermit.
we got to tell something else, and then we'll tell him on the outside because now his wife is listening.
Oh yeah.
So that's Thursday nights. Save someone, yeah.
I know Teresa loves ladies' night, so
Yeah, she would probably. I tell you, she'll pick up in the car and go. You
I'm
know.
fortunate because I have a wife too, like his wife, that loves to smoke a cigar.
Okay.
It's kind of rare.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd like to get more women involved because it really is an enjoyable.
my wife is in the skincare industry, and
Oh.
she owns her own little esthetician clinic, and she's happy that I have working my kind of dream job, but she's not really a big cigar smoker. She'll smoke one every 2 years or so.
Oh
She'll
wow.
smoke a half of one every 2 years, but she's still happy for me that I'm living my dream type job. So, and she's very supportive, but there's no way I'm getting her to smoke a cigar.
No, huh?
Yeah.
Well, to each his own.
Well,
Yeah.
Plus, in the industry, she's probably worried about dry skin and
Oh,
wrinkles. You know,
Yeah.
she's got to do the Rodan and sell. You know, keep
Absolutely.
Like the
Like,
Seinfeld episode
look
with
away, I'm
Kramer.
hideous.
Don't look at me, Cherry. Don't look at me.
Jerry, you coming tonight? It's pipe night.
I'll tell you one funny story. As I'm 47 years old, and the bones are creaking a little bit, and I'm moving a little bit slower than I was as a young buck. But my wife's gotten me into taking yoga. So like every once in a while, we'll go take a nice yoga class. Well, I like to do it before I smoke, or I like to take it to go to the yoga class after I've smoked a cigar. I've been hanging out in a lounge,
Mhm.
and you get those. You walk into the class, and they're all the women setting up their mats, and like. They smell something, and it's just like looking, and I'm just grinning from ear to ear. I know I'm giving off I'm either giving off an alpha smell or a putrid smell, but I get a little kick out of it.
They're thinking you're Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about pairing since we've been kind of enjoying. What do you pair? What do you think pairing with this cigar, the Series
I'm
V Milano? What do you think? Special drinks for each cigar.
I'm a wine drinker, so
Okay.
with this Series V Milano, I love a good.
George's a good wine connoisseur here too.
Excellent. Yeah, like a good cab, like a good Cabernet is really a great. It's a great. It offsets it pretty nicely. Probably I love a good rye. I'm not a big bourbon. This is going to surprise a lot of people being in this industry.
I know he's going to
Let's
say.
leave. Goodbye, folks. We're leaving.
I'm not a big bourbon drinker. I think it's too sweet for me. I like a good rye, I like a good scotch, but definitely a good rye. I think would be a nice pairing with this Series V Milano.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Rye bread with pastrami. That's
Yeah.
I like.
Basically, rye is bourbon when you take the sweetness out of it.
Well, so I was going to
Yeah.
say, I have a good friend of mine that turned me on to Templeton's rye,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my favorite ryes. And he tells me that's Jack Daniel's Light,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
true. I mean, it takes kind of the sweetness out. It's got a more grassy,
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you're right. I think that would pair very well.
I just picture myself as a cowboy in the old days with my hat, my 10-gallon hat, walking into the bar and saying, "Give me a rye."
No, the
You know?
saloon.
Yeah.
The saloon.
Saloon.
Yeah, that's
Whiskey.
That's more of my speed. I'll drink the unaged whiskey, as we like to call it, moonshine.
Moonshine.
That's where my heart lies.
Okay.
If it's good shine, it's good. But
I haven't found a good cigar to pair shine with though yet. So unless, well, I don't know. You get some of the sweetness, like if you get the apple. What is that? Apple Jack or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
Mom's apple pie.
Yeah, a good brandy.
There's apple pie. There's cherry. They got a flavor of everything on
Oh yeah,
moonshine
they
now.
do.
the moonshine industry really has exploded.
It's blown up. Yeah, it is. For
But
better or worse, it has blown up.
and it's good. Like, I mean, and even me and my brother had dabbled in our own stop listening government to our own apple pie, and
That's the stuff that you were selling last week in the back of the truck there.
Is selling. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
I'm sorry.
How dare you, sir, accuse him of a crime like that?
Dr. Fine, how could you?
How dare you?
Well, you're allowed to make it now, right?
No.
You are in no way allowed to make spirits on your own.
I heard you can.
You can
Oh,
produce.
No, this is now a fact.
You can produce
produce-
wine and beer, but you
And-
cannot produce
No,
spirits.
you can make spirits too. I think 5 gallons for the year,
Well, that
something like that. Yeah.
I have not heard that rule. I know that's the way it is for beer. You can make
Now, beer
personal
you can
personal
make and
use
wine.
per adult that's in your household. You can make 5 gallons per adult of beer and
Per
wine.
week. I know. I heard that.
If I get arrested for making my own moonshine, I'm bringing you into court as a character witness.
So, yeah,
Absolutely, bring him in.
Well,
Put him in.
I mean,
Get rid of him.
I mean,
You
then,
can find me.
but the other aspect of it is going to court. Like, if you're not selling it,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
then
for personal consumption.
yeah, I
You
don't
can't sell it.
know.
You know,
No, you can't
I
do
know.
that.
Those laws are tricky. I don't
Cousin
know,
Frank
so.
says we can. So
okay.
that's the bottom line. And we're going to
And
give
Frank
Cousin
makes a
Frank
lot of
call.
different
Hey, cousin
stuff.
Yeah, well,
Frank knows
he's down in the south, so he would know.
Hey, cousin Frank, good enough for me.
Yeah.
Good enough for me.
Cousin Frank says everything. And
You can
hey,
find Frank up in them hills.
Frank,
Yeah,
get ready
in
on
the
the
Great
phone. We're going to
Smoky
put you on
Mountains.
here shortly, buddy. I'll be calling you. And hey, just for us, and Curvy Hente from South Carolina has just notified us that he'll be coming up Tuesday, May 28th, and wants to hang out with us and get anything planned on Wednesday. So, Kerr,
Very good.
we will get in touch with you, and we'll definitely hang out on Wednesday. Looking forward to it. And
bring some of
Frank,
those
I'm going to be
cigars.
giving
Bring
you a
some of those
call.
cigars, buddy.
And Kyle is going to get his FDA stuff ready to roll, and then we're going to talk to Ivan about how does the FAA stuff FDA.
FAA flies the stuff in.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are the airplanes
That-
up in the sky.
hey,
we're
can I
talking
tell you?
about.
Hey,
I was going to ask
hey.
you that before, but I didn't
I'm
want to waste time.
I'm multitasking
I have
here. You know what I
About
mean?
the coffee flavored cigars, that will be affected, right? If
Absolutely.
this nonsense
Absolutely.
goes into effect.
Absolutely. When you guys are ready, we're gonna haul off and start talking about it. Yeah. Some things have already happened countrywide in Canada. They've banned all flavored cigars.
They've already done it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ironically, they also made marijuana 100% illegal,
Yeah.
illegal in Canada.
Well, in
I'm going to
take this from
you. I'm going to take this for you here for a second.
I'm talking.
I
Yeah,
know.
he-
I'm right in the middle of the
He's
conversation.
trying to get his mojo going, and then you're
Wow,
taking
wait.
his microphone away.
I need
And
my bag.
Without that thing,
Hold on,
you can't hear nothing.
I'm not getting involved
But I
in
need
sibling rivalries here.
Frank, how you doing out there?
Two brothers.
Yo, what's going on?
Hey,
There
man.
you go. That's why I need to muzzle Frank. What's happening, buddy?
Nothing much, just hanging out, listening to the show, and
Well, you got nothing else to do
there
tonight.
actually enjoy one of those Olivas.
Oh, you got one
great.
just for the show.
Thank you for the support, sir.
I know.
It's greatly appreciated.
Hey, we miss you, Frank.
No, you don't.
You know, it's almost a week since you left us.
Yeah, it's pretty
Look how
unbelievable.
fast that went.
Kyle
I
tried,
think it
but
almost took me a week to get home.
yeah, I know, really. Kyle tried, but he missed.
Yeah, poor
missed
guy.
you.
It's
He
like
missed
you
you,
almost did not get
Yeah,
home.
really. We were feeling bad. We wanted to come over and get you, rescue you, come over, have another cigar with us over at Cuban Experience, but I guess you caught a flight by the time we would have got down there and picked you up.
Well, it was the next day.
Yeah.
He got a flight around 6:40, 7 o'clock, and then he had to make a stop at Dallas. And I think what time was that second flight? 12:45.
Cousin Frank, can we get
Well,
your
yeah,
exact
no, my
itinerary?
first flight was- Yeah.
By the way, Anne Marie is listening, so you want to shout out to Cuz over there too. You can.
Yo, there's cousin Ann's out there. I'm sure she's smoking her acids.
She
loves
is.
them.
She's
You mean
smoking
she's
that-
on acid right now?
She's not dropping acid. She's
Oh,
smoking it.
oh.
Well, I was just going to ask Ivan about if what would you compare a acid? She doesn't tell me which one. It's a mini acid Which Oliva would compare that? So
You know,
we can try to turn
acid
the-
is really a cigar unto its own. There's
I was
really
gonna
no
say,
comparison.
Yeah.
Ironically, acid is the number one cigar in the world. Number
you
one.
kidding?
It is the number one cigar in the world sold.
I
No,
know.
Yeah,
I
because-
can't believe that.
Because
Yes.
all the
Yes.
females buy that. I mean, there's a lot of females buying.
I
the
actually
acids.
was in a cigar shop years ago, and the Acid Blondie is probably the one that she's looking to have you.
Mhm.
But I was standing there, and a guy comes walking in. He's got a Blondie, an Acid Blondie label, and he's, I need these. I need these. Do you have these? He said, yeah, I've got them in the thing. He goes, he said, you smoke cigars? And he said, no, but I was in a bar last night when they had smoking in Illinois.
Mhm.
He said, I was in a bar last night, and the chicks were going nuts over this Blondie, so I got to get these.
Wow,
So
I
that's
did not know
probably what
that.
happened.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
the blue label. I don't know what it.
Yeah, that's
it's
the
the
blonde.
blue label.
Cuba. Is the
Cuba
blue-
Cuba.
is the
Cuba,
blue
Cuba,
label.
Cuba
Yeah.
is another
That's
one,
the
but it's a
one.
different one, yeah.
It's the Cuba that she
Yeah, but
loves.
that's the one that's the big one. The Blondie is the little one.
Yeah, the Blondie's a little kind of like a machine rolled petite Corona size
Yeah,
cigar, but the Cuba is the number one cigar in the world. Number one.
That's-
I,
That's
I,
hard to say.
I just can't believe that.
Yeah.
That's
Blown away by
unbelievable.
That
For-
is a fact.
So
for our
now
list-
Ann can boast that she smokes the number one cigar. I can hear it now.
Oh, well, you know that. She's probably yelling and
Oh, yeah.
screaming.
We can hear it here.
I mean, Penny's walking the dog. That's why she's getting rid of it. You know?
And for our and
Wow.
for our listeners, I actually had a good friend of mine who was a huge Cuba fan, but he couldn't understand why all of his cigars tasted like Cuba after
Yeah.
he put them into the.
Yeah.
You have to keep
Oh,
those
the
separate.
humidor. Oh, they
Yep.
spoiled everything then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most cigar shops you go into keeps the acid blends in a separate
have to.
cabinet. Yeah, because it does tend to marry to other cigars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Strong. Yeah.
Really bad.
Hey, one of your friends that we just talked about, Mr. Brian McGuire, is just checking in. Say
Hey,
hello.
Brian, what's
Good old
happening?
Hi, man. How you
Good old
doing?
Brian. I got some stories about him when the show's over.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
I-
Brian,
But we won't tell him the stories you told us.
If
about
you
him.
hurry, you can get here.
Brian, remember about that herd of sheep up in Wisconsin that one weekend?
Oh.
Between you and me, buddy.
Teller jersey? Does that mean something to you?
What does it say?
Teller jersey.
Tell him. No, that means nothing to me.
Uh,
Let's move on. Let's move on.
oh, good. I like to put these guys against each other.
Uh-huh.
We should have one night, get them all in.
Oh,
here
that would be
one
good.
night.
Everybody in studio
Yeah,
one
we
night.
really
Yeah.
should be. When we're outside.
We'll
at
get
the other
nothing
studio.
done then.
Yeah, no.
Why we're doing
We
so
get
much
something
now?
now?
What are we doing now?
Hey, we're trying to put on a show here. Hey.
Well, trying is the key word.
Yes, Tim, we did talk about acid, and it wasn't the acid that you take.
It was
back in the
double
60s.
barrel sunshine, man. Stay away from the blue acid, though, man. It's not
Yeah,
good.
that's the bad stuff. Bad,
You know,
bad head.
This might not be correct. This might not be correct. From what I'm told, from Drew Estate, the fearless leader over there, Jonathan Drew, was selling those out of a kiosk type cart in New York City, and that's kind of where he got started selling those acid cigars. And now look at him.
Wow.
You know, he's got this entire beautiful, really great company, Drew Estate,
Mm.
and he's. I normally wouldn't promote him, but he's such a nice guy. My boss Jeff at the Big Smoke a couple years ago, my boss Jeff came up and introduced me to him. And he's waiting on 50 people passing out cigars, and he took some 5 minutes aside to speak to me. And then the next time I saw him, about a year later, he remembered my
remembered
name.
you.
Yeah, so I keep talking about gentlemen within the cigar industry. Jonathan Drew, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's funny you say that because I was at Avo's 80th birthday party up in Milwaukee years ago when he was still around,
Mhm.
and somebody stole all of the swag that
Mhm.
they had. Each table with swag set up on there. Somebody stole all the swag from the one table before the people even sat down, and they were racing around looking for it. And here comes Jonathan Drew out of the back of his van and said, "Here, you go ahead and take my stuff,
Mhm.
and give me something years later, and I'll pass it out."
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Just a
That's
super
pretty-
nice
very
guy.
nice.
Super nice guy.
That's pretty awesome. Somebody
Yeah.
does that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You
nice.
know, I can't tell you how many other cigar reps have events, and they bring in their presidents or top blenders and things like that. And I've gone to all the events, and I've talked to a couple people who were just nervous and didn't want to walk up to them and say hi. And I'm like, you're missing out. this person is Ernesto Correa, super nice guy. Walk over and talk to him.
Yep.
He's happy to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Don't be intimidated by these guys. They're normal human beings just like us.
Yeah, why get
Some of them
nervous
might be a
about
little
it?
crazier, but they're still, they're still super nice guys. If you ever meet one of these guys at an event, go out of your way to walk up and say hi. And if you enjoy their cigar, let them know. They're happy to talk.
Well,
to you.
we've gotten to know Val and Armand from Dav Cigars and those guys. Yeah, they are. I mean, you sit there and have a conversation with them, and they own this huge company now, and it's like, yeah, I mean, if you didn't know who they were, you could just. They're just they're normal people.
You
Hang
want
out with them, man. We hung out with them all weekend. Like,
funny story. A couple of years, my first year at the IPCPR in Las Vegas, and my wife, being in the spa industry, wanted to go out there, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, come out. And she was checking out a couple different spas and getting different treatments and learning new procedures and things like that. And at the end of the night, 1:00 in the morning, all the cigar guys are hanging around one bar at the Palazzo. And my wife strikes up a conversation with Rocky Patel about skincare. And I'm over in the corner with one of my cigar rep buddies, and I'm like, that's Rocky Patel over there. And he's talking to my wife.
Uh-oh, get the gun
about
out.
skincare and all that.
And I said, what were you guys talking about? Skincare. We were just talking about skincare and a good skincare regimen. He mentioned that he stays in a lot of hotels and sometimes doesn't take care of his skin the way that he'd like. And I'm just thinking to myself, of all the places,
The thing is, your wife knows how to talk. She networks. And
absolutely.
That's all you got to do to people. And
Yeah.
you know what? What's the worst thing that can happen? They don't say hi. They turn you off. They turn you back, and you move on.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that gets a bad rep, and word gets around.
It does
quickly.
get around,
And
especially
they
in this small industry.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned Vegas. So I'm going to jump the gun here
Sure.
because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
part of it down the road. But I gather all of you guys are going out to the show June 28th.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll be representing the Midwest and Illinois, and they keep everything in the company under lock and key. Hopefully, we'll be coming out with something new this year. If not, definitely next year. But it's a good way for companies to get out there and show what their new cigars, pass out samples to customers. This is actually an industry-only event. It's called the IPCPR. And it's for cigar shop owners or retailers or brokers or anybody
And
involved in the
celebrities
industry.
like us.
Yeah.
We're going.
I tell you what,
We're going to
last
be
year,
there.
Karl Malone opened up his own. Karl Malone, famous Utah Jazz basketball player, opened up
Yeah.
his own cigar shop in Louisiana, and came out with his own cigar.
Yeah.
I believe Miami Cigars is producing it for him, La Aurora, and I tell you what, he looks like he could still play. He's in great shape. But he walked around and walked all the different booths, and he came over to our booth and was looking at some of the different cigars and some of the stuff that he carries in his cigar shop in Louisiana. So you never know who you're going to bump into at IPCPR.
Well, we plan on being out there.
You guys going to do a podcast?
We're going to do a podcast
Excellent.
out there.
Excellent. If I can stop by for 15 minutes, I'd love to stop by and say hi.
Well, we're hopefully there's going to be 4 of us, so 2 is going to be in a booth, and the other 2 will be walking around. And
Excellent.
we're excited about it. We've been asked by a couple other cigar companies to come on and.
Well, I'd like to
promote them,
officially
and,
invite you to come to our. We're going to have a brand new booth this year, 2019.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Usually going with the theme of our coffee flavored cigars, cappuccino, macchiato, and espresso, we have a barista who serves all 3 blends. So
Oh, nice.
at the very least, if not
Oh,
seeing
wow.
me, you'll have an excuse to stop by and say hi.
Well,
I
we're
love
going to find you.
espresso,
so-
We will
Absolutely.
track you down.
We'll find you.
I insist. I insist.
That's great. I mean, somebody's got to pay the hotel bill, so we got to find you.
Yeah. Make sure I give you my credit card before we leave.
I just want the airfare paid. Don't worry about the hotel room.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're looking forward to it, and we're trying to lock things up as far as that goes. And
It's a great opportunity to sell cigars to our customers. It's also a great opportunity to bond with other companies and other reps that we see through our areas, and it's just a great opportunity to bond. It's a lot of fun.
Did you hear the news too from Arlington Lounge?
No, I didn't.
Jennifer had been asked to be a keynote speaker.
I don't know. Should we have
Wow.
let that out? I mean,
We let it out at
Yes.
Belo's.
yeah,
Wow.
Jennifer was so
Yeah.
pumped up about it. It
Yeah.
was part of her whole,
she's
you know.
the
that's
speaker.
great.
Yeah.
She
Isn't
was
that
asked to do
fantastic?
that, and she is so excited and pumped up for it.
In a
man.
male-dominated, male-driven industry, it's great to have someone like Jennifer come out and speak about her experiences being in the industry, as well as running a shop from her perspective. I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
No, I think it
Yeah.
says a
She's
lot for
excited.
the industry
Yeah.
Absolutely.
to do the crossover.
Absolutely.
It's just not a male-dominated business anymore. To
No.
say
Yeah.
a lot more females are getting involved. A lot of females are actually opening up their own shops.
I like to see
And,
it. Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. We're
I like
we're
to see the
excited for her.
inclusion. I like to see the inclusion.
Well, it helps.
Yeah.
It's just more people smoking.
Yeah.
And that's the whole
Yeah.
idea. We
Yeah.
talked earlier. One guy told you just smoke. I don't care
Mhm.
what you smoke.
Yeah.
Just smoke. And
Yeah.
that's the key. And we're going to have to fight for ourselves to smoke because
Well, wait a
basically
second. Frank's still there?
Frank is
still
here.
there, man.
Cousin Frank.
Cousin Frank checking in. By the way, Glenn Gowdy just checked in.
Hey, Glenn, what's
how are
happening,
you?
man?
From North Carolina. Frank, you're following your peeps are following you.
That's it. Well, hopefully they can't find me. I'm in hiding.
On the lam again.
What is it this week? Austin, Texas this week? Are we traveling somewhere
Austin,
else?
Texas. Here in sunny Austin, Texas.
Stay weird. Stay weird.
Stay weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
That's
It
the
is
city
very
motto,
weird.
ain't it? for
That is
Austin?
the
Stay
mantra.
weird.
That is the mantra of Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Stay weird.
Stay weird.
Stay weird.
Yeah.
Frank, you got to
Yeah.
get out of there fast, please. That's bad news down there, man.
What are you smoking tonight, Frank?
You said
What am
Oliva.
I had my Oliva.
Which one?
Now I'm not smoking anything. I was smoking my pipe because now
okay.
I've got, I've been reintroduced into the pipe world. So by my cousin.
After 25 years, huh?
It's a good
After
thing.
25 years, came back to smoking a pipe.
And Lucy likes to smell that tobacco.
Were you smoking it
Oh,
out of that meerschaum? That nice meerschaum you
Mm.
have?
Oh, out of my Lion King pipe? Is that
Yeah.
what it's
I have a question. for Cousin Frank. Cousin Frank, have you begun growing the handlebar mustache yet to go with the look of smoking a pipe?
I'll let my cousin Bob take care of the mustache growing.
He's good at that.
Actually, cousin Frank would be right between us. We look exactly the same if you didn't know us from a distance.
Yes.
He hasn't
Well, I
started
was
that.
expecting you to put up my my poster card, like my full size,
Yeah,
We didn't get
poster.
that made yet,
we
dude.
need to get the Frank Fathead so we can
yeah,
put it
yeah,
there.
yeah.
We need to get the fat head for you.
The fathead man. Yeah, exactly.
Since you're good, maybe just get one of your pictures, take a picture of yourself and then ship it up this way. We can stick it right here somewhere, and
Of your face.
Of your
let's,
face.
Let's get this of your face.
we don't want to see the rest of it. I don't have the micro.
Yeah. No, I don't want to show you anything else.
Yeah, we need the listeners to keep watching for sure. But
Or at least keep listening.
will you do that? So we're gonna. Kyle, will you almost get ready for the
Kyle
FDA
is gonna do
report,
some,
or what are you
talking here.
thinking
Yeah, I've got a little something.
While he gets ready, and Glenn is saying that you're fitting in well, Frank. I'm glad.
Well, here, I've got a good little piece of trivia for you.
Okay.
While
All
I
right.
was-
While he's getting it ready, let's go for the trivia. Let's see if you can stump Ivan.
I'm going to see if I can stump Ivan here. Okay.
I'm ready.
Connecticut shade tobacco is also known as what?
I think you just stumped me. Connecticut shade tobacco is also. Are you talking about a different blend, like a broadleaf
Nope,
Connecticut?
also known as blank shade.
Blank shade. Blank shade.
Do we get a multiple choice?
Doo-doo.
That's
And-
fun.
You stumped me.
Usually you
You
give
stumped me.
multiple choices. You went
Okay,
right at him,
okay.
man.
No,
You
but you're talking
destroyed
to a
him.
pro now. You
I
can't give too
well,
much
actually, I'll
away.
give you a tough one right off. It's actually also known as Windsor.
Windsor shade.
Oh.
Hey, you learn something on.
And
learn
that's
something
because
new
of
every day.
That is
95, if
interesting.
you're traveling through Connecticut and you haven't been taxed too heavily, you'll drive through Windsor and Granby, and that's where you'll see a huge amount of Connecticut shade being
Okay.
grown.
See, at 47, you
Okay.
learned something tonight.
That's
Ironically, cousin Frank, I have a question
Windsor
for you.
shade.
Uh-oh,
What?
get ready, Frank. He's coming to you now. He's attacking you. You better
You're,
listen.
you ready, Frank?
Uh-oh.
What's 12 times 44?
12 times 44? I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right. Oh, all right. All right. Now, okay. All right. Now you're not Mr. Know-it-all.
Ah, yeah.
Exactly. I won't even answer it. I'm sorry.
All right. We're even. 1-1.
Kyle, how you doing, Frank? Listen to the FDA report.
All right.
Here we go again.
Here we go.
So this is going to kind of follow off of kind of what we were talking on our last episode with the Philip Morris coming out with their IQOS, their brand new electronic cigarette that burns actual tobacco instead of vape juice. So now Philip Morris has gotten into hot water over this device because they started using young influencers to promote this product. So as of Friday, Philip Morris has suspended all social media postings of their new device based off these young people, because now it was promoting their product to the young crowd again, which was what Big Tobacco was trying to get away from since they've been in such hot water.
But young, obviously of legal age. So
Well, but these so what an influencer is so these are people that are on YouTube, they're on Twitter,
Right.
and they have a huge following of people. And
Gotcha.
most of the people that follow them are of young age. They are not of legal
I
age.
gotcha.
You know, so
Okay.
this is
So-
the reason why we don't see the Marlboro Man anymore. This is the reason we don't see the
Right. Oh,
Camel.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Exactly. That's
the
exactly
government
right.
got rid of those. The government got rid of those because they thought that, hey, you know, you guys are advertising towards minors.
And
Yeah.
Tom
Younger
Selleck
people.
got another job anyway. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to be the Marlboro Man anymore.
Well, now everything's going to 21. We definitely established that with
Yeah.
the vape and everything.
July 1st in the
And-
state of Illinois.
Yeah.
21.
Oh,
And
yeah?
Walgreens
Yeah, too.
fell head over heel on that one, so they did that nationwide,
Mhm.
actually.
Yeah.
So-
So as of Friday afternoon, cigarette maker Philip Morris International has suspended a global social media marketing campaign in response to inquiries into the company's use of young online personalities to sell its new heated tobacco device. The IQOS included a 21-year-old woman in Russia. The company's internal marketing standards prohibit it from promoting tobacco products with youth-oriented celebrities or models who appear to be under the age of 25. The company told Reuters of the decision late Friday, saying it had launched an internal investigation into marketing posts and photographs that Reuters sent to the company for a comment earlier in this week. They included a paid post plugging that the tobacco product by a social media influencer, Alina Tapiliano, in Moscow, who listed her age as 21 on Instagram, alongside often seductive photos of herself drinking wine, swimming, and posing with the little clothing of luxurious settings.
What exactly is her social media site?
Yeah, and you need
Can
to-
you bring that up, Kyle, so we can see exactly what they're talking about?
Yes, Kyle, you haven't been doing your homework. You need to come prepared.
Oh, he's prepared, all right. I like this subject. What are
I
you
know.
talking about?
Just
He
ask him
has to
strictly.
have, you need some visuals to back up that.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Well, after he finishes, he'll look her up on Facebook or check
so-
her out, and we'll put it up on the screen. for
So
you.
Frank,
yeah,
do you need
at,
that information
Kyle,
right
at
now?
9 o'clock
Kyle.
in the parking lot, there will be a PowerPoint presentation going on.
Kyle, I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Is that .com or .net or
I-
whatever? What is that?
It's Instagram and
Oh,
so,
Instagram. And her name is what again?
Alina Tapiliana
Okay.
from Moscow.
From Moscow. Okay.
Mm.
Oh, I
At
forgot my phone.
gspot.com.
She is, you know, if this campaign doesn't go through, she's going to be looking for an election to
There was no
influence.
collusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's collusion.
Then no collusion has been had in this Mueller report.
Okay. So what else is going on with calling Philip Morris? Calling Philip Morris.
Basically, the whole gist of everything is that they so everything that they were promoting with this new device, they suspended their marketing program and their market everything because they quickly realized, and where the vaping industry got into trouble is that they pretty much unknowingly marketed straight to people of underage identities to take up their device and causing a bigger epidemic. So
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, of course.
They knew what they were doing. When they come
So-
out with flavors like Fruity Pebbles and cotton candy,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not they're
Yeah.
not marketing
Yeah.
to adults.
No.
Yeah. So I
So
mean,
what happens now?
so,
Is this
well-
device still going to be marketed?
Philips is still
Of course.
making the device. They're just not promoting it with the social media now
Okay.
anymore. So you still be able to get the IQOS device as a form of safer burning, because now it's not using chemical, it's using tobacco instead of the chemically man-made whatever you don't know it could be in that device,
Yeah, there's all sorts
whatever.
of chemicals in cigarettes. but-
The device is still going forward. They've really stopped their campaign with that device
Okay.
because it went in the wrong direction, and really quickly Philip noticed that it was going in a direction that's going to probably land him in hot water, and that
I
hot
think it
water
already
is
landed hot water, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
If they stop promotion after all that marketing,
yeah.
and something serious is going down.
I think somebody
well,
just forgot to
you-
talk to legal department.
You got to
know?
understand though, like
agree.
they don't like when these companies deal with the influencers, they're actually not spending a lot of money. It's actually cheaper for them to use these influencers versus a total ad campaign
Oh, of
on
course,
television,
absolutely.
because like all they have to do is send one of these devices to a YouTuber, and their device cost them, what's the cost on a device to them, like $5-6 or whatever. I mean, they probably
If that.
sell it. They
If
sell
that.
it for like $20-30 or whatever. But
Yeah, these social media influencers are reaching, probably the top 5 social media influencers are probably reaching 100 million people. So
Mhm.
talk about advertising, instantly reaching 100 million people with whatever your product
Wow.
happens to be.
yeah, so
You know?
they spend very
Wow.
little money. They give it to these people. They go on their YouTube channel, which they have, 3 million, 4 million, some 10 million
Like us.
viewers. Like us,
Like
yeah.
us. Right, Frank?
and
Yeah,
and
we're
it,
called non-influencers.
yeah, and then it quickly.
Well, under the influence is more like
Yeah,
it.
under the influencer. That could be it too.
That's where, I mean, you think it's costing them a lot of money to do this, but it really isn't. I mean, they'll see these influencers and then they'll basically casually send them an email like, would you mind promoting our product? And most people are gonna be like, yeah, not a problem. You send me
You get
the
something for
product,
free?
yeah,
Sure, why
I'll
not?
promote it for what, I'll give you a show of mine. And most of these YouTubers, I mean, their shows are only max maybe like 12-15 minutes. So for 10-15 minutes of their time for one episode, they get a free device and then they promote it out to everybody.
Think what we can do. We
And-
could do an hour episode twice a night. We can really promote.
hmm
We need to talk to sponsors.
Yeah,
Well, we got to
absolutely.
well, as we said, the YouTube's in the works. It's
Yes, we do
when,
have a YouTube
when we
going
have
on.
the
We will
new
be there.
studio and everything, this will quickly become a reality. But for right now, we're just taking a back seat and doing what we're
We're
doing
practicing.
now. Yes.
We're
Yes.
tweaking the show.
Yeah. And then till then.
So you guys are going to
Yeah.
be on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah.
I know. We got
Oh.
faces for YouTube, don't
Yes,
you think?
Faces for radio, for sure.
I think so. I think so. Hey, grab a pen and paper, folks. Just some things again to announce. Locally, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, is the local gathering of the Great Lakes Pipe and Cigar Club at 7 p.m. Central Time till at least 10 p.m. at a Cuban Experience located at 119 Genesee Street in Waukegan, where you're going to have the great sound from Dave Ramey and Paul Kay, along with Rafi and every other musician that walks in. So you can listen to jazz and blues, and you never know who's going to show up. So that's tomorrow night. This Saturday, like Bob had mentioned earlier, is going to be the Chicago Pipe Show, Pipe Club monthly meeting at 8 to 8 down in Villa Park. And you know them, right?
Absolutely.
Mike's
absolutely.
down there, great. And
Right?
Mike's expanding his new place in Schaumburg.
Yep.
I think they already started breaking ground.
They
or
have.
just
They have, yeah.
Yeah, you got the
So-
permit finally, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
finally.
Yep.
Finally.
So that will be
Really-
Mike at 8 to 8 down there.
Really turned that shop around, really classed it up. It's actually a great destination place if you're in the Schaumburg area to go visit. Absolutely.
And we have a
Yeah.
bunch of your cigars will be there too.
Absolutely.
Same way over at Villa Park. We mentioned to you about Arlington Heights with their dinner. Check out their Facebook and all their stuff that's going on. What else? As far as the our friends from the north up in the Kenosha area, they have their meetings at the Kenosha Pipe Club with our friend and president Garrett Goldberg, who probably might be bringing the guys down to a
Think
Cuban
they're coming to
Experience
us
because
now, yeah.
we got what's happening, 25 smokers every Wednesday night. So you need to come down early to grab a seat.
Yeah, come down and
And,
enjoy the hospitality of Luis
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dorothy and Billy. Just class family.
And,
Great people.
and you can get an Oliva cigar at a
Absolutely.
Cuban experience too.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely. Many to choose from.
Yep.
Many to
Yep.
choose from.
And they also have events Friday night at the Cuban. It's McAuliffe night down there. They're coming in on their 3rd year anniversary coming June, I believe.
Third?
Right? 3rd year is coming up. So we're looking to do some partying over there with them. And their new cigar, their actual house blend cigar will be hopefully maybe tomorrow we'll hear some news that
Hopefully
they're
he got the
coming in.
tables. He was waiting for the
They're-
rolling tables. to
Rolling
come in.
tables should come in and they'll be producing their own, right, Bob?
Yep.
They've come a long way. They've come
Yeah.
a long way
They
in this
have.
industry. And it couldn't happen to nicer people.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They're awesome. And I mean, 6,000 square feet lounge. I mean, we took Frank there last week. Frank, what was your true opinion of hanging out at a Cuban?
Wow. Overwhelming because it's so it's big, but yet the people there are so like warm that even though the place is it's the largest cigar lounge I've ever walked into by far. I mean, probably 3 times larger than anything else. But you walk in, you don't feel like it's cold. You feel like, it's super welcoming. The chairs and the lounge chairs are super comfortable. They're set up in a way that it's easy for people to talk to each other and BS. So it was really amazing. Again, overwhelming because you guys overwhelmed me for the entire week. I got no sleep.
We did keep you busy, right, buddy?
Exactly. But yeah, Cuban experience is it's a special place. Not too many places like that, I don't think, in the United States or in the world.
Well, Arlington Heights was pretty incredible too.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
again.
in our area, we have so many. We even got Papa's down in Highwood. I mean, these are great places that the owners just bring you in.
They
You just
welcome
become-
you. They really
yeah.
welcome you. Yeah.
Welcome you, and you become family over there. So you really got to see 3 of the best places that we can actually take you to
And then
locally.
and then you forget at
I know.
Arlington, we kept on talking about the whiskeys and everything, and then here comes
Oh,
Chris
here comes
out.
Chris with about 6 bottles on the table.
Yeah.
You know, and
Hospitality.
hospitality. All of a sudden, you see a bunch of pizza coming in, and people. I mean, they really just open up the place to you.
That he was giving away for free, not selling.
No,
yeah,
he's
absolutely.
not selling at
Not
all.
selling.
Just invite and
He knew we were thirsty because we were talking a lot,
Yeah.
with all our BS. And he said, "Hey guys, here."
My throat is parched.
Yeah. And
They
now
go-
it's
goes
burnt.
hand in hand.
So as of right now, also on your calendar for your local peeps, May 25th at Papa's Cigar, we're going to have Kevin from Christoph Cigars doing a cigar event. May 25th, I believe it's going to be 5 or 6 o'clock. Go to Papa's Facebook page for all the details and breakdown of that also.
A little side note there, please. Before Kevin leaves the shop for the evening, make sure he's frisked. Make sure he gets frisked.
Oh, boy, do these guys know each other well. I'm going to get him out there quickly so this way I can take half the stuff out on the street.
There you go.
There
Just
you
make
go.
sure he is searched at the door before he leaves. the shop.
Yovan, you hear that, buddy? Just letting you know. That's all we could say. Hey, gosh. Anyway, let's get back to the show, Frank. You got anything else that you want to ask Ivan while you're here? And, I know you always got thousands of questions for our guests.
Well, actually, other than the fact that he worked as a broker before, or that's how he kind
In
of
Chicago?
Actually, I sold doors, windows, and trim in the greater Chicagoland area.
No siding?
No siding, just high-end stuff. Siding, come on. What do I look like, a Johnny Bananas here? No siding, high-end stuff.
Forget about it. This guy's
But,
not going to make it.
Well, cousin Frank, as I mentioned before, I've been smoking cigars for 25 years. I've been-
unreal. No,
yeah.
I'm just enjoying hearing you guys bullshit. So
Hey,
We do a lot of
family
that.
show, huh?
Frank, cousin
as long,
Frank.
as long as we don't talk about sports anymore. I can't listen to Chicago Cub talk or
Yeah.
any of that.
Hey, cousin Frank,
We'll
watch the
have none of
language. Watch the language here. I'm a Christian. Come on.
Jets, Jets. That's all you want to hear.
Yeah.
And forget about the METS, the minor league team that's playing in the majors.
Well, yeah, that minor league team might be a little bit better than your major league team.
Oh, here it goes, guys. Here it goes.
Listen, the Yankees have 22 starters hurt. You want to compare that, and they still have a better record than the Mets. So let's talk cigars.
Yeah,
Forget
let's get back on cigars
Is this
here.
Saturday? Am I fast forward to Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, on Saturday, folks, for all you
Are you
who
coming
enjoy
Saturday night,
sports,
by the way, George?
I do Sports
You are
Weekly
coming
right at
Saturday night, right?
101.5 FM and
No, I'm working.
WLCB. Just to let you know that, Slede's Corner. Let's talk a
Well-
little bit about, have you been to any of the islands, or have you been to Nicaragua, to the factory?
So, yeah.
Have they sent you down
Every
there?
2
What
years,
was that like?
every 2 years we go to Nicaragua. We were supposed to go again last year to visit the new rolling room, but there was a lot of upheaval.
Yeah, there was
There was some
Going on in
stuff,
Nicaragua.
unrest. There was some
Yeah.
unrest we heard
There
about.
was a lot of unrest, and it wasn't really a safe place to go to. But we are going this year. We just finished rolling. We just finished completing a new rolling room, which is really upped our production. A lot of times I hear that our most popular cigar can be hard to get on occasion, but when I look at my back order reports, I see that going away these days. So our most popular cigar, the Series V, should be in stock. Any cigar shop owners that don't have them in stock, their old complaint was that I just can't get them from the company. That's no longer an excuse. So we're going to be going there in December for our annual sales meeting, and we'll be doing a lot of fun things. We'll be doing a lot of fun things like visiting our factories, visiting the fields, the fermentation bars, the barns. Oh my God, guys! If you ever get a chance to go to a fermentation barn, like 5 minutes is all I could take. The ammonia in there is brutal, absolutely
Really?
brutal. Yeah,
Wow.
I couldn't take it anymore. After I was in there for a half hour. After I left, I smelled that ammonia for the next 3 days.
Oh, man.
It was
So
tough.
it's better to wear a mask when you're going in. Somehow?
Just what, go in, take a peek. It's a bunch of leaves that are drying out and walk out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good to
I've
know.
seen pictures of it, so that's
Absolutely.
good enough.
That's plenty. That's plenty.
On the average, how many sticks do you think they make a day?
Well, I'm not sure per day, but last year I think we produced about 2 million sticks for the year.
Wow.
So anybody who's
Now, is
good
that
at
just
math-
for Oliva, or
Just Oliva, just
because they're
Oliva.
doing for so many others?
Wow.
So
I'm only privy to what we do.
okay,
I mean, what we do for others that's way above my pay grade. But
Okay.
just for Oliva, yeah,
Okay. Wow.
yeah.
well, that's a lot of sticks.
It is.
Sure
But then you
is.
have the big companies like General and Altitus that are doing 10 million sticks a year, without breaking a sweat. So
Mhm.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
yeah.
Again, we talked about Cuba. George mentioned earlier about the cultivating of the soil.
Mhm.
How is Nicaragua handling that situation? Being that they saw what happened to Cuba,
Mhm.
are they doing plots at a time and giving it like 5 years to cultivate?
I mean, as far as
again?
I'm not a horticultural expert, but they are doing the right things down there, and also, it's not a communist government. I mean, granted, it is a socialist government, but they are still allowed to have their own companies that are private and run them how they see fit. So, put your money where your mouth is. Nicaraguan tobacco is the best tobacco out there these days, and it has been for the last couple of years. So,
But do they have enough real estate that they'll
Oh,
be able to
absolutely. Yeah.
constantly change their
for generations? Yes.
their areas for farming?
Absolutely. They have generational ownership over these farms. So, yes,
So we have
that's
nothing
the
to
problem
worry
with
about.
Cuba. It's an island, and that's
Yeah.
all you got. And
exactly.
and they got to
Exactly.
keep farming the same soil over and over again, which
You
it's
get
gonna-
you get a bad raid storm and wash out some crops, you're screwed. you
yeah,
know?
that or
Uh-huh.
just you're taking all the nutrients out of the soil anyway if you
Absolutely.
keep farming on the same area. So
Absolutely.
What's your take on the future of cigar smokers with all this FDA and all the nonsense and what our country is, because of our insurance companies are trying to cut
Right.
out tobacco and all.
I like to remain optimistic. Unfortunately, I just can't. I feel there'll come a day in 10 years where, the Chicagoland area has 50, 60 cigar shops. We'll probably have 5 or 6.
Wow.
I just see
because everybody's left this area
no, well,
and go somewhere else.
not so much that. I just see that the government getting so strict. I mean, I could see in 10 years where tobacco is illegal and marijuana is legal.
Oh, it's happening now.
I just see the government local, state, federal government taxing the hell out of all of our products, and because they know what's best for us.
Of
of
course.
whatever happened, individual choice. I like to. I don't really like to debate politics, but what I do like to tell people is I believe in individual rights. Which equates to freedom.
True.
So what I like to say is in situations like this, where we have a nanny state, the government's taking care of us, even because we don't know what's good for ourselves. Anything in moderation, I think, is fine. So if I want to go out and enjoy a fine, hand-rolled cigar by Oliva or any other companies out there, a $10 cigar right now costs $15 in this state. Especially in Cook County, but you go to other places like.
Well, we heard about Minnesota
Yeah.
last week. We were at the Chicago Pipe Show, and we met a cigar
Tobacconist. No, he
tobacconist
owns a tobacco
in
store.
Minnesota, and their tax, they told us, was 97.5%.
So what
Can you
happened?
imagine that?
So what happened in Minnesota? Their taxes were, in upwards of 95%. So, and that's without sales tax. So let's just eliminate the sales tax. Walk into a cigar shop in Minnesota and buy a $10 stick. Now you're paying $19.95 for a stick. What they did do in the last year, and this gives me a little bit of hope, was they put a 50-cent cap per cigar. So it's 95 cents tax with a 50-cent cap, and basically that's rehabilitating all the cigar shops in that area, and they're doing a lot better. Now they have a little bit more freedom. So rather than being a $10, eliminating sales tax, rather than going from $10 to $19.95, they're going to $10.50.
Okay, that's
Well,
good.
That's big because
it's
California
huge.
is 67.5% in California now.
So
Which
unfortunately,
knocked my pants off as first. We heard that, and then we heard Minnesota.
so
What is going on?
California's absurd.
So what's going on in California is they had a referendum on raising the cigarette tobacco taxes, and nobody feels bad for cigarette smokers. Nobody feels bad for them.
No, we don't.
No, they don't. But what's freaky about the state of California is they tie in their cigar tax with the cigarette tax. So when a politician comes out and says we need to tax these cigarette smokers more for their wares, everyone's like, yeah, let's tax them. Who cares? Who cares about cigarette smokers? But what ended up happening is automatic. They don't mention the cigar part of it. Automatically, the cigar tax shoots up to 66%. So
Yeah.
And I'd see in the next couple of years, I could see
And I'm sure
easily.
that's true for pipe tobacco then.
Absolutely.
Everything's lumped into
absolutely,
one thing. Yeah.
absolutely. I could see in 5 years half the cigar shops in California being closed down.
I can see
Half
a
of the
lot in
people be
California
gone
being
from
shut
that
down,
state.
yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about, guys? We're talking about family-owned businesses. The people that you mentioned tonight, I mean, the nicest people you'll ever want to meet.
Yeah.
Family-owned businesses, okay?
Brick and mortar stores.
Absolutely.
And lounges.
Absolutely. We're putting them out of business. And then on the far end, say this cigar company goes out of business and, like Oliva Cigars, probably 200 sets of hands from picking it in the field to putting it in a cellophane and putting it in a box. 200-300 sets of hands touch that cigar before it's made and before it's presented to the customer. What's going to happen to those people when eventually the taxes become so high and so incredible that companies
They're done
close?
too.
Well, what are they going to grow in those countries? They're farmers. What are they going to
They're
grow?
going to grow weed.
They're not going to grow weed. Weed isn't weed. They're going to grow poppy seeds. They're going to grow opioids.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
drugs are going to be more prevalent in those countries. These people need to feed their families.
I had a conversation with some of the Fuente family about some of the things that they're doing down in the Dominican. It's the same in Nicaragua and Honduras and the other countries. They have these farmers that and craftsmen that are making these cigars, and the wages are not great because the cost of living down there is so low. But what we're doing through the cigar industry for those countries is providing them some serious employment
Absolutely.
that they're not going to get any other way. And as we
Absolutely.
start to, wheedle it down, we want, to your point, we want to get rid of smoking in the United States because it's unhealthy for our population and forget about our choice, and I don't, matter of fact, I was going to say my doctor prescribed cigars to me because he said it's the act of smoking the cigar that's really good for you. It de-stresses you, and that's much better for your heart than the risk of smoking a cigar. The nicotine affecting your heart. But,
Talk to any doctor out there. They're going to say nicotine's a fantastic drug. It's just the delivery method that's questionable.
yeah,
So nicotine's a great drug for any person. It's just the delivery method. And taking it in through smoke could be harmful. But us being cigar smokers, we don't inhale, so
Yeah.
we're less likely.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So our pallets are filled with smoke. and-
Now, have you heard of anything like is Oliva gonna lose any of their cigar lines due to like the FDA and government sticking in?
The status quo right now is that we're all the cigar companies have joined together with Cigar Rights of America and IPCPR, and we've sued the federal government's FDA. And we're asking, and we talked to different congressional and senatorial representatives, asking them to carve out cigars out of that FDA governance. And really the reason it came into play was because of
the vaping. That killed it all, and then they got into the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, then tobacco, cigars, and pipes tobacco it fell into it. It's natural. There's no additives in
Listen,
that way.
this product right here hasn't changed in 200 years.
Yeah.
It has not changed. It's three components. It's a binder, it's a filler, and it's a wrapper. It hasn't changed
All
in 300 years.
tobacco.
And to make it even more crazy is I gave you a box of Figurados, 2014 Cigar of the Year, by the way. Oliva Series V Milano. Thank you. I gave you guys a box.
Okay?
I gave you guys a box of Series V Milano Figurados. Okay. Now that's the same blend that you'll find in the Robusto, the Torpedo, the Churchill, and the 6x60 Double Toro. It's the same blend. It's the same tobacco. They want to test. They want us to test every single one of the different sizes, even though it's the same amount of tobacco, and they're testing to find out what's in there. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
What does the size have to do with it then? I mean, if it's the same tobacco, same exact product.
I've heard
Absolutely.
from women that size sometimes matters. So
Hey-o.
We are a family show. We say it the way it is. Frank, you want to add anything to it before you say
Yeah,
sayonara?
because the federal government is so bloated, they figure size does matter. So
Well, in their case, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh, I don't even know where to go with that one, Bob.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it
let's
go.
move on. Next.
Let's just get rid of the swamp and we can clean house.
There you
There you go. Anyway, Frank, it's about that time for us, my man, and that was a fast one.
Good night, Frank.
And
God,
boy.
God bless you,
Good
cousin
night,
Frank.
Mary Ellen.
all righty, and say hello to Lucy. We'll talk to you off air, bud.
All right, be good, guys. Have fun.
So
Take
long.
care.
Pleasure.
Anyway, that's cousin Frank, folks. If you haven't recognized the voice by now, you ought to know
Where
who
you
he
been?
is. Exactly. Haven't listened to us long enough.
Go back and
I
listen
guess
to our
the
other
last
episode.
question, or one that I have, was: would you ever like to try and have your own cigar blend for yourself?
The best that I could do is try to put together, like we'll be going to Nicaragua in December. I plan on rolling a couple different cigars of different types of tobacco that I like. I'll pass those cigars up to the decision makers and see if they would approve a blend that might seem interesting to them and might do well to sell. In today's climate, I feel really bad for the small cigar shop, companies, the small cigar
boutiques.
the boutiques. So right now we don't have any definite answers yet, but the rumors going around between $20,000 and $30,000 to test your cigars per size. So I just mentioned
How much?
$20,000 to $30,000 per size.
So we
per
heard
SKU.
crazy numbers from 150 to 250,000.
Yeah.
Where does that fall in?
The rumors I've been hearing is like right around average of 25K. My company has at least 350 SKUs, so 350 times 25K.
Wow.
A lot of cigars that were manufactured after the predicate date of 2007, which with the FDA came in and said anything made before 2007 we're not going to touch. Anything after 2007 we're going to want to test. And here's another thing for the cigar companies that are like, here are my cigars. They're out on the shelves. They're going to make them, if those cigars haven't been tested, the FDA is going to make them illegal. So if you're selling a cigar on your shelf in your cigar shop that hasn't been tested, now it's an illegal cigar.
So now we've become the prohibition of alcohol back in the day, and now we're gonna have prohibition.
Well, this is what's
cigars.
going to happen. Yeah, we're going to have a whole black market
You're
just for the
You're gonna
cigar
have to
industry.
knock twice, spin in a circle 3 times, and then you can go in and buy the cigar.
And God knows what they're going to do to pipe tobacco because everything gets looped into
Absolutely.
it.
Well, and the flavors too. That's the big
Well, yeah.
killer too.
And my concern with all of this, if you think about it, is if they outlaw a lot of the cigars or they make it impossible, what's going to happen to the liquor industry? Because liquor kills as many or more people than cigars do.
Well, George, you haven't been listening. We're all going to be smoking pot.
And
Yeah.
well, and so my point is, in marijuana, in California, and then wait till the federal government gets a hold of it, because they're going to do the same things that they're doing to the cigar industry. Out in California, they've passed all kinds of strict regulations of those that grow marijuana, and they want them tested too. And it's a lot of those people that have been growing it illegally now want to do it legally. And now with all of the costs of doing all the testing and the licensing else and the taxes on it, they're not even going to break even.
No.
So when we talk about this, what's disturbing to me about this whole trend is, where else are we going to go with this? Once they eliminate cigars from our marketplace, what's next?
Yeah.
Oh, psilocybin. Didn't you hear it? In Denver. Mushrooms.
Yeah,
Legal.
they
They're going to legalize mushrooms now,
Yeah.
man.
They actually just did legalize them. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
it just happened.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just in Denver, but
Yeah,
no,
but
I
It's a
think
start,
it's
George. That's what
start.
they're going to do.
so everybody be doing.
Denver started
bottom-
the
Rules.
marijuana legalization.
Bottom line is, American politicians want us to be so doped up that we don't know what the hell
control,
is
man.
going on.
Control the masses.
Control the mind, get them on the phone, act all stupid, and they're going to do whatever they want because we won't be ready for it.
It's both
And
sides,
that's-
guys. It's both sides, guys. It's both sides.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, no, it's not
No.
specific to one
It's the
party. No,
swamp.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
consistent of everything.
But
No.
the poppy field scenario that you're describing in Nicaragua is coming.
Oh,
Nicaragua-
that'll be the
Nic-
next thing.
Nicaragua, Honduras, Dominican Republic. These
exactly.
people need to feed their families.
Exactly.
You know.
And they're going to do whatever.
And if
they
you
need to
got
do to do that.
nothing else, well, that's it. We got dirt. We're going to grow.
Yeah.
And with that, that's it, folks.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're going to have to wrap it
Thank
all
you for
up.
coming, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
Appreciate
It's been a
it.
I hope
pleasure.
you had a good time.
Had a great time. It's
You
been a
are welcome
pleasure.
back anytime that you are
Yeah.
up in the area. You want
What-
to take that ride?
What are you guys doing tomorrow night? You guys have plans tomorrow night?
Yeah,
Cuban
we're going to be at a
experience.
Cuban experience
Yeah, we'll
at
be at
7
Cuban
o'clock.
experience, 7
Handlebar
o'clock.
mustaches.
Yes.
Once again, handlebar mustaches
There you go.
not required.
We'll try doing
We
it
actually
here.
have a jar of wax at the Cuban experience if anybody wants to come in and
Anyway, folks, we're going to wrap things up, and I hope you enjoyed a part 2 session with Ivan. Again, we can't thank him enough for coming in. Oliva Cigars, check him out at your local tobacco store or lounge. This is fantastic. I can't thank you enough. But we'll catch you next week. And next week's guest is going to be Rick Farrar from Briar World. Briarville, excuse me. We're going to talk about the Chicago Pipe Show and his fundraiser for clean smoke for all our veterans. That will be next week. He's excited. He did real well, and we'll get deeper into the show.
Great having Rick at the show.
Absolutely. And Jeremy Feliciano from
Yeah,
Briar
Jeremy.
Nation, which is this year's shirt. If you
There
get a
you go.
chance, Kyle, stand up. You can get in front of there. And that's this year's Briar Nation shirt, which was a big hit.
Very svelte,
And,
very
And
svelte
Kyle is
Kyle.
wearing
Yeah.
a very stylish green T-shirt tonight.
Very svelte, very lean, very
And
lean.
we got to get the bra size off of him, too. So, anyway,
Double D's.
again, Great Lake Smoke Show. Have a great night, folks. Thanks for checking
Take
in.
care.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you. That was fun.